What is going on, everybody? It is episode 332 of Pop Culture Crisis. I hope you had a good weekend. My name is Brett. I'm here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Yes, we are back from the weekend. How are you feeling, Brett?
Well, I'm haphazard and disheveled now because we had a kerfuffle before the start of the show.
Yeah, Dane was just destroying the studio. He's here, by the way. Bull in a china shop.
How's it going, buddy?
I like the NPR intro you guys had. Like, hey, Brett and Mary here. How was your weekend? Oh, I'm kerfuffled.
Play some smooth jazz.
Yeah.
I saw this great meme, or like a video meme over the weekend. It says like it's a guy pretending to be a DJ. It says like BBC dropping the sickest beat right before giving you the worst news you've ever heard in your entire life. And it's like it's the DJ, it's the co-host, it's the camera guy, and they're all bobbing their heads, and then it just cuts and goes, 9 died in a train derailment this weekend. It's like that's the BBC. We have a special guest here joining us on a Monday. Would you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Hannah Claire Brimlow. I'm a writer for timcast.com.
We've got a dual show. The Monday and Tuesday people have come together.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like we haven't done a show together in a while, so I was happy to be asked by Dane to join in.
I like the jacket, by the way.
Oh, dude, thanks. I feel like we've just reached that point in spring where you can wear like a jacket that you don't need to have layers underneath,
Yes.
right?
I can't wear leather because like most of my I wear like joggers most of the time, so those don't exactly work with like leather jackets.
I bet you could. I bet you could if you really
Don't
wanted to.
bring back the Brett wearing leather pants meme. That was a weird day.
Or
What?
You don't remember that?
The chat just became transfixed with the idea of Brett wearing leather pants. I don't know why.
Which is funny because I just posted a meme this weekend. It says like my thoughts in my head, and it's a picture of Henry Cavill from The Witcher, and it says my thoughts when I actually say them, and it's Ross from Friends with leather pants on. It looks absolutely ridiculous.
I feel like when you were in your bleach hair era, the leather pants would have been a really cool look.
Actually, it would be giving Zoolander.
I feel like that's what we needed, a Zoolander Brett with the bleached hair. I feel like that was the time when I was like, there was this moment where I was like, when he had his bleached hair, because I was like, it looks kind of cool that he was, I like in my head, Brett was going to take all kinds of fashion risks.
Start wearing zebra print.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I was told by Mary that I dressed politically neutral, which is the greatest thing anyone's ever said to me.
I think there are lots of kinds of politically
clinging
neutral
to that.
fashion.
I do.
Hipsters have a term for it. It's called normcore. Because
No. I'm not normcore.
I
Normcore
wouldn't
is the
call
people
him.
with the baggy blue jeans that are like highways. No, I actually make fun of people who do normcore, and at least in the skating
like
world.
weirdly opinionated
Yes.
about this.
Well, it's like
micro trend.
It's bad. It's bad. In
Brett
skating,
loves
it's
fashion.
bad.
Brett loves fashion.
No, he does
Fashion
not.
pod.
All right, guys, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. Jonathan Majors, this story blew up over the weekend. I'm actually kind of happy that we didn't get a chance to get to this till Monday because more information has come out regarding this. He has been charged with assault in the 3rd degree, 2nd degree aggravated harassment, and 3rd degree attempted assault for apparently putting his hands on his girlfriend in the back of a cab. And more information has come out about the witness recanting their statement and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we will get into that. We are also going to talk about iDubbbz banning Froggy Fresh from Creator Clash. If you guys know what Creator Clash is, it's basically celebrity boxing for influencers, right? Like, so for a good cause.
Yeah, many good and almost suspiciously not controversial charities.
Yeah, well, you know.
I think they raised like $1.3 million last year, so they're doing it a second time around.
Yep. So we're going to be talking about that. He banned Froggy Fresh for having negative things to say about his girlfriend's OnlyFans page, which, you know,
it was positive in my estimation, actually.
I like when people say positive things about my girlfriend's OnlyFans.
Yeah, like, I don't know if you want people to have any opinion about your girlfriend having an OnlyFans. She shouldn't have an OnlyFans.
If you could just stick to no opinions, they would probably be fine with that.
We can stick to no OnlyFans. That would be ideal.
Well, speaking about OnlyFans, we're going to talk about Amouranth. It's so bad. This wasn't perfectly in order because we're going to talk about Amouranth fourth. Amouranth has announced that she is going to be making family-friendly OnlyFans content. What does that mean? I have no idea. But we will eventually one day probably see what it means when Coco Melon meets Amouranth. And I don't think anyone wants anything to do with that. Not good. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the fact that the media who spent almost a year telling you that the movie Joker was going to cause an incel revolution and have violence spread across the country at movie theaters, so much so that a bunch of cops were like camped out at movie theaters while the movie was playing. They now love Joker 2, and they love Joker 2 probably because Harley Quinn is apparently bisexual, and that's a reason enough to love it. But we're gonna have a look at the first look images, and I want to talk with you guys a little bit about why you think it might be true that the first movie seemed to be so dangerous and so scary, and now for some reason they're like all on board for it, and they're like, just don't remember, pretend like we didn't spend a year trying to incite violence,
begging
which is what
people.
They did.
They're literally begging people.
Yeah, they were. So.
Literally front page of the New York Times. They're like, please shoot up a movie theater. We'd love to report on that.
That's exactly what it was. So much so, if you remember, they banned the press from a bunch of their press events. So we're going to talk about that. And before we get started, guys, could you hit the like button? Could you subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? It helps us greatly. Hit the notification bell. Also, remember, if you do have something that you would love to interject into the conversation, we will read all Super Chats, $20 and over, right away. You can ruin our train of thought, if you will. We will try to get right back on the topic as soon as we're done with it. So if you guys are ready, we can get right into the start of the show. Mary, are you ready?
Let's go.
Hannah Claire.
Let's do it.
Dane.
Yes.
All right, here we go. So we got a couple of things to get started first.
It's the warm-up time.
This one is actually kind of funny, and I don't know if I mentioned this one to you guys before earlier. Disney employees are bracing for impact. The executives have directed managers to identify which employees are redundant. And I just read before the show went live that they're talking 7,000 cuts.
I think they're cutting 7,000 positions, but that means they're going to lay off 4,000 people.
Yeah.
So like people who have already been laid off, their position is just going to be evaporated.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll stop hiring, so any open positions they'll just get rid of.
Which means that there were so many redundant people already, redundant positions that just ended up there because email jobs are a thing.
The DEI department is shaking in their boots right now. Actually, I don't know.
They might be the only ones to stay.
Yeah, like
I was gonna say it is Disney. Let's calm down.
So like, look, 7,000 jobs on the line, just something
with a deadline of April.
Yeah,
they don't have long. They're
no.
just, it's like.
It makes me think of like when you play sports and like you try out for the team, they post the positions and they post the ranking that you made. At least back in like the olden days, before now, I'm sure you get it as like a text alert or something, like to see if you've made the team or not. Like now I'm picturing like they all go downstairs to like the Disney cafeteria to look and see if their name is still on the sheet, and then they find out no, they don't have a job. Yeah,
some of these companies that have huge layoffs, it's kind of crazy. They'll do like an all company call, and because everyone's remote these days, so it's not like they're, watching people go into the manager's office and carry out a box later. You know what I mean? Like, so they'll have these all company Skype calls where they're like, yep, we're gonna have to get some cuts. So anyways, in about 15 minutes, if you're staying, you'll get an email. And if you're not, you'll get an email, and then we'll work with you from there. And so like,
surprise,
just because they have to minimize chaos, right? Especially because everyone's remote, it's not like they can just silo it in the building. They have to prevent it from having leaks everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's kind of crazy. I can't imagine being like, okay, here's how we're going to trigger this mass layoff of several thousand people.
At some point, you just have to roll dice, like see who randomly is going to get cut, because you don't know what everyone's doing at a company this big.
And as everyone knows from the movie Office Space, they likely brought in outside consultants to figure out who is going to be cut. I'm picturing them now. I'm picturing Bob Iger sitting there with like the guy from Office Space, bringing everyone in and saying, could you tell us exactly what it is you do here? And they're all having to justify their jobs to Bob Iger and a bunch of people who look like Gary Cole.
I've worked for companies where like once a year, or if you have like any restructuring or a department head come in, like you'll during your year review like write a job description, and they'll have your job description from the year before or from when you got hired, saying like these were the things I got hired to do, and this is sort of what my job has naturally evolved into. Or here you can kind of see where the person is like not doing the things they were asked, and you can evaluate from there. I don't think it's crazy to check in, because naturally with some companies, some projects get dropped, some people move on to different things. I just feel like with Disney, there are a lot of people who are doing busy work. It's hard not to.
Yeah, they literally write
companies.
Email job.
And
like,
so, right. And so
form.
how could you possibly say like, is this worth the money that we're saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like it reminds me of arguments about administrative bloats on college campuses. Yeah. There are so many people who are like, I'm a class counselor, or I'm doing whatever. They're just basically getting paid by the university to like deal with the bureaucracy that having so many bureaucrats has created.
You know what? I think what's going to happen is that wokeness is going to last literally exactly until the day after the next election cycle. And wouldn't it be funny if all these woke companies turn like corporate based? Like, you know, it's a bunch of like CEOs with a backwards hat being like, oh, dabbing on haters.
Hey, Zaslav's already kind of like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that some of wokeness is motivated by corporate capitalist behavior, right?
Obviously,
it just sells. If your advertisers find people don't complain about this or they respond to this messaging, it becomes an incentive to grow these kinds of business. As soon as wokeness is no longer profitable, every major company will abandon it. There is not, I can't think of one single company that is truly and authentically devoted to wokeness.
No, there's not. So typically,
Can you think of any?
That aren't
That,
woke?
that are authentically
Ben
woke.
and Jerry's.
That are authentically woke. Oh yeah, Ben and Jerry's.
Ben
for
and Jerry's
sure.
is like interesting because they're devoted to a lot of progressive causes, but I don't think of them as classically woke. I mean, they have been activists for a long time since they started the company, basically. Like the idea that like if you jump onto every trend, you will continue to make money, like that is really not what works for most businesses. And so I think they'll fall behind. I think they'll give it up. There are some businesses that are cause driven, that they have certain things that they are tied to, but I don't think there's a business that has fully embraced wokeness that wouldn't abandon it if it turned out to be.
That's interesting. I'd have to like put some thought into that. Like what businesses do I
modern
interact?
progressive burger company.
Well, they don't survive for very long.
remember
like,
that pillow
Starbucks.
company that David Hogg was gonna make? A pillow company that was all communist.
I haven't heard about it since.
Because he
Sorry,
hates Mike Lindell or something. Like,
I mean, you know, it's
what
like,
is your
that
vendetta
like
against my pillow?
Is that reverse daily wiring right there? Like trying to.
Except, yeah, the lame version that nobody wants.
That doesn't work. All right, guys, we're gonna move on. So Harry Styles is dating Emily Ratatouille. That's the tweet.
At least he's making out with her.
That's all I've got.
Yeah, they were spotted kissing in Tokyo. It's a very awkward video.
You can already probably
This is our
predict.
cringe of the day.
It's literally our cringe of the day. They look like they're still mentally in high school. It's grotesque. They're just eating each other's faces.
Yeah, it's not.
Plus, isn't he?
I
kind
just
of
saw this
like,
reply that said delete. A lot of people are asking you to delete. It's triggering for so many people. There are people fainting and feeling sick. Please, I'm begging you to delete this. It's forbidden and illegal in many countries to post something like this.
to be that bad at it, apparently. You know.
It's just. Oh, what?
Oh no! We just got a super chat that's not $20, but we're about to cover it here in just a second. We're about to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Amouranth is just on the male feminist world tour, and she is going to pass around the same case of herpes to every guy.
Well, you know, who does she go through?
She's already been with Eric Andre, Pete Davidson. Who else is under her?
They're all. It's like all the men that are the least threatening person you've ever imagined.
We're missing
in your
one
life.
that's crucial too. I think.
Emily, you can call me. I'm available.
You're not a male feminist, though.
But I'm available, and
He can.
Would
be.
you become a male
I can
feminist to sleep with Emily Ratatouille?
if a bunch of ruthlessly capitalistic companies can go woke for the sake of money, then I can go male feminist for exactly as long as it takes to
woo
woo Emily Ratatouille.
Honestly based.
Yes, I will fake
I think
it.
that's why a lot of male feminists are male feminists in the first place, to try and have greater access to women.
Oh yeah, no, those are the bad people, the one that are doing it covertly and seriously.
But the conversion rate for a male to becoming male feminist and getting women is like 0.
Yeah.
It's a terrible plan. They just try it anyways.
Yeah, I mean, well,
It's just so cringy. Like, you're a mother, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I always forget about that.
Like where is the baby?
That's always my questions when I see these celebrities like off doing whatever. Like, this is cringy and weird, but even when I see like married couples who are like, we're in Italy this week, we're doing whatever, I'm like, where are your kids? It's the school year.
Well,
like,
knowing Ratatouille should be holding it by one arm.
yeah.
Like not paying attention to it.
No motherly
The
instinct.
baby
It's by the
is
hair.
just
Like
she has zero motherly
perpetually in the care of nannies, I'm sure.
I just don't understand what her objective is, right? I mean, other than to get famous, which is what I have decided. That's the only thing she's really
Yeah.
interested in, right?
Is she a Nepo baby?
She's not dating to get married. She's not dating for anything. Like, what is the function of being involved with men at this point other than sexual gratification? And for me, it comes down to fame. She stays in the headlines this way. But that's such a corrupt way to look at human interaction.
No one talks about her unless she is talking about men or is with a man.
It gives her like she's like literally she doesn't want to date men, but she's like, what the hell am I going to talk about on my podcast if I don't date a bunch of men?
She has a podcast?
Literally, yeah. Everything she says on her podcast is man hating.
What's
and
her
then
podcast
her
name?
lifestyle is hooking up with men.
Yeah.
What's her
It's called
podcast name?
High Low.
Yeah. Which
She just has every other female who can do
High-low?
nothing but complain about men.
Yeah.
Like it's
like
all
the
they
highs
talk
and lows
about.
of life.
I feel like it's very this is very jarring in particular because they're both like traditionally good looking. Yes, yet this kiss is repulsive to look at for some reason.
What if it's on purpose? What if they're trolling us?
Well, you can see Harry kind of looking toward the person who's recording while they're kissing. He's like, his eyes aren't closed, his eyes are open.
I feel like he's like,
I believe
ew.
Yeah.
Like it right in the middle. I don't
Also,
know.
like I can see that the front of his hair is tied into the tiniest little sprout of a ponytail.
Like he's a toddler.
Like yes, like a
You
two-year-old
kind of
girl.
do it like a tiny baby.
yeah, I
have-
don't like this.
At one point, believe it or not, I had hair long enough to put up into a man bun. And there was a problem when skating. You'd have to wear a hat because it was long enough that you could put it up to get it into like a little bun, but just not enough that it was substantial. So it just looked really embarrassing. So you don't do that. You just wear a hat instead. You don't.
Would you have learned to French braid your own hair? Because I feel like that's
No.
the solution a lot of girls go through. When your hair's
No, I'm
short
not doing
enough,
that.
like short but long enough that you need to put it out of your eyes, you like French braid your bangs back. I highly recommend it. You should try it.
I'm not doing that.
Why?
How many
you've already
crisis
tried
parties?
cornrows.
French braid his hair. He won't bleach it again. I just don't understand. Like, what are we doing here?
Boo.
Cornrows, Brett.
They
Oh,
weren't
how many
they weren't
cornrows?
cornrows. They were braids. So I had my hair in braids.
Okay.
So yeah.
Wait a minute.
long time ago.
Can you be talked into cornrows?
No.
Would you bleach your hair again?
No.
Would you bleach it and then dye it a fun color?
Definitely not a fun color. If I would maybe
about an unfun
I would
color?
maybe go blonde again. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I
He
knew
liked
you
it.
liked being
Maybe.
blonde.
He
But
liked
I'm
Love
not
it.
dyeing
Admit
it.
it.
I'm not dyeing it a color that signifies mental illness. I'm not doing
Blonde,
that. I'm not
blonde,
doing
blonde,
that.
blonde.
Can you imagine just recording two strangers making out from like 10 feet away?
And just being like
That's
okay
like
That's
with it.
wild to me.
That's a publicist. They're like, great, great, great. Do it again.
Is that like
But it's,
one of their
like,
assistants?
badly.
Yeah, I'm 100%.
Well, it has
that's
to
someone
And they
be
know.
purposely
Bad on
have like the
purpose.
worst model of Android phone that you get from a grocery store.
No, I'm not saying that the video quality is bad. I'm saying that the kiss seems.
Oh, everything about
No,
it
but
is
it's also
horrible.
filmed badly too. It looks like she's trying to use the
purpose.
rule of thirds.
Did
but
you
she
guys see
does it
At the
wrong.
beginning of the video, you can see Harry looking toward the person recording.
Did you guys see this thing about Kim Kardashian going out in London for St. Patrick's Day? People were like showing like pictures of her and they're kind of blurry. They look like when you're out at a bar and like people are moving around, the lighting's bad. And she like has a Guinness and like a baby Guinness, and then she's updating on her story like that she has baby Guinness shots and it looks like she's out and about. But then someone else shared a photo of like, because everyone's like, oh, Kim's so relatable, just like fun night out. And then someone else shared a photo from that bar, and there's like a full-on movie set. There's like lighting. It was like made to look like
all
she's just a
fake,
fun
dude.
night out. It's
Bruh.
completely fake.
The world is fake.
That's what I think this is. I
Yeah.
think it's the same thing.
Yep, it's all fake.
There's a whole like lighting and sound crew that we don't see in the shot.
All right, guys, we're moving on. We do have, somebody did mention this tweet. I do have this video of from
Based.
Trevor Wallace featuring our good friend, Chet Hanks. I consider this a daily Chet formation. If you're new
We're
here,
back on this? We're doing it again?
If you're new here, we used to have a thing here called Chet formations, where every day I would introduce everyone to a brand new quote from Chet Hanks, and he would inspire us all to live healthier, safer, more pumped up lives. So if you're ready, guys, we will watch this video.
I'm
Are
ready.
you ready? All right, here we
Yes,
go.
Absolutely.
Time to motivate absolutely no one. Rise and grind and rise.
My dick must be an alarm clock, because at 5 a.m., it's up.
The only time success comes before work is in the dictionary, and I can't read.
I like working out because it makes me feel like a man.
I live by the 7 M's. Manifest, meditate, masturbate, M&M's. The green one can get it.
I set my alarm for Dubai time, so I'm already getting the pump tomorrow, today.
Why would I take a real bath when I could take an ice bath? Currently going on 7 minutes strong, 48 more until I find my personality.
There's no pre-workout like the neglect of a woman.
What?
It's a Slipknot lyrics.
Sex is my cardio. And let's just say it's been bulking season.
Success is not owned, it's rented. And the rent is due every day. And we're about to get evicted.
This is so beneficial for my job at a vape shop.
You gotta run from your landlord. I got bad credit.
Time
By
to
the way,
motivate
Insider Baseball, Brett's only been speaking in quotes from that video all day. It's like,
Also,
hey,
Green
notice-
M&M can get it.
If you'll notice, I did heart Chet's that Ish got me pumped. I had to give him credit there. Go Chet.
I like that he's branching out in his content.
Yes. Success is not owned, it's rented.
Like he's a grind set influencer, but he's self-aware in like how superficial that is. Like I love that. Because he's literally the rise and grind 4 a.m. doing burpees influencer.
No, he's actually
and
that
he
person.
knows
Like,
how that makes other people feel.
how many manifestors do we got amongst ourselves?
I refuse to manifest.
I
The chat's
Well,
right. I was
what is
dealing.
secret?
What does manifest look like to you?
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean?
It looks like this. We will have Chet Hanks on this podcast one day, and it'll be the most viewed podcast of all time.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Of all time.
Of all time.
Ever.
Ever.
All time.
Number one, Chet Hanks.
I was on the phone with Chet Hanks before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I am in his contact book.
There you go.
Damn.
It's a thing.
It could happen. It could happen.
He was
Also-
like in Greece, right? Was
Yeah.
like, everyone call me. And
Yeah.
then he, like, didn't want to come on Pop Culture Crisis.
Like,
Jerk.
damn.
couple other things here quickly at the beginning here. Shazam took the biggest drop off a cliff ever. 68% drop from week 1 to week 2. The descent
Boo.
continues between that and the most recent Marvel
Was
movie.
the
So
was the first Shazam because this is a sequel, right?
Yeah.
Was the first Shazam like very popular compared to other things?
it was average to below average.
So when-
And they were like, hell yeah, let's do this
Yeah.
again, but
Okay.
worse.
I wouldn't have probably seen it as something worthy of needing a sequel, especially not with the time between movies. Granted, COVID had a lot to
Okay.
do with that, but
Wasn't the first Shazam the Shaq movie?
No, that you're thinking of Kazam, and that's the
Cinematic masterpiece.
yeah, that's the no. Have you ever seen? Did you see any of these? Did you see Shazam? Or any of these? It's actually a family-friendly movie, and it's actually quite good. But it's sad to see. Also, guys, you knew we had to mention it. Kanye West is, of course, happy again. He watched.
I love this.
He watched 21 Jump Street.
He
now
like
he's good.
posted the movie poster on his Instagram, and he said, watching Jonah Hill in 21 Jump Street made me like Jewish people again. No one should take anger against one or two individuals and transform that into hatred towards millions of innocent people.
What is
No
it like-
Christian can be labeled anti-Semite, knowing Jesus is Jew. Thank you, Jonah Hill. I love you.
What is Jonah Hill feeling right now?
He's like,
he is like,
I
please
don't know how
don't
I
bring me
feel."
into this conversation.
That's literally he's like
You know, he needed this for his PR because You People was such a disaster.
like yeah.
You know, this endorsement is actually a good thing for him.
I want Kanye to watch You People and be like, not so sure about Jonah
Yeah.
Hill.
Yeah, no.
You know, in You People, Jonah Hill's playing Brett Daszak.
Yes.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Literally, he's a pop culture podcaster.
I didn't
realize
have
we had
the
a
heart
movie
to
based
watch
on your
that one,
life.
Yes.
but I did watch 21 Jump Street over the weekend just because of this post.
Yeah.
So
How-
Jonah Hill is directly benefiting from this shout out.
And we need a mini review. Thoughts?
I mean, I thought it was great. I
Yeah.
like genuinely laughed at it, and 2012 is like one of those last years before the current year time period where
Yeah.
humor was dead forever.
Yeah.
So we're never gonna get something like that again.
I like the idea of Kanye should just make his own movie review channel.
I'm telling you,
Yeah,
we're gonna
I'm
get.
just picturing him in his home theater watching 21 Jump Street and just dying laughing.
I can't wait for corporate based to come in.
You mean like instead of corporate woke, we have corporate based?
corporate based.
Where it's like we actually believe in not including people here at this company.
Is he gonna get all of his brand partnerships back?
No,
or-
it's gonna be.
feel like-
Gillette wants you to know that we want to repeal the 19th Amendment.
I feel like we
Jeremy's
don't
razors
have
the woke.
corporate base, but we do have like slight corporate. We've always had corporate nationalism or corporate patriotism, I should say, not nationalism. Where they're
beer
like,
companies.
Beer companies are like the flag.
Yeah,
or they're
they love
like I don't know anything where they're like military service, buy our coffee, and you're not like I don't know how this is related.
I
Like
was
it's
talking-
always been right.
But then
on
they
the
have to
cusp.
denounce their base, like Carhartt did.
Yeah.
Or there are a lot of like.
I don't know
examples of
about
those
you
brands.
guys, but rampant militarism really builds up a thirst. And then it's
Like, I just want Monster
Light.
to get in on this. Like, are they gonna go woke or are they gonna go corporate patriotism?
We'll have to figure it out.
They've been
We
avoiding
need
the
a-
question, and I need an answer.
Brand deal for Carter from Rockstar Energy.
Yeah, that's highly needed. That's
Yeah,
highly
that's
needed
true.
right now. Well, I was talking earlier with somebody about on Twitter about. Did you see the thing about Agatha Christie? Like now they're editing Agatha Christie books.
That's
for,
not even written that long ago.
No, and I was like, you know what I want to? I want living authors to do now. I want living authors instead of like old authors having their books edited because they're offensive to modern audiences. I want authors that are still alive to edit their books to make them more offensive
Oh, yeah,
for
I saw
modern
you tweet
audiences.
that.
So I want them
That
to
was
just
a
like
hit easy.
like it would be fantastic. It just becomes really sexist, racist, and homophobic in all the books, just as a pushback against the people who keep editing stuff. They need to do that. J.K. Rowling could go the whole opposite way and and really win over that Hogwarts Legacy fan base.
I believe so.
All right, guys. If you are ready, we will just get right into it. We have the Tom Cruise video, do we not?
Oh yeah,
I believe I have that
just
here.
needed us to adjudicate on this. I saw it
Thoughts?
on Twitter and people were debating it whether Tom Cruise's reaction to this prank was justified, and let's just
volume.
react to
Okay,
this.
here we go.
It's a pretty old video.
Yeah.
Yes. No, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Come here. Why would you do that?
I like how he pulls him. Like, hey, come here.
Why would you do that?
This feels very Scientology.
No, it's okay. No, wait 1 second.
Get the lie detector
What's so
out.
funny about that?
What did the guy do?
He shot him with like a water
You
gun.
like making less of
He's literally about to interview this guy with a polygraph.
Yeah, he's like, what's your level?
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like it, honestly, if he's making him uncomfortable.
you like
Yeah, it's based.
doing mean things to people.
Do you like doing mean things to people?
Tom Cruise rules.
Who came with the
despite all
towel?
of his
Why
makeup.
did they have a towel ready?
This just happens all the time to him.
I don't care. That's incredibly rude.
It's incredibly rude.
And answering your questions, and you do something.
Well, and it shows that it's such a different era where he's saying, like, it's incredibly rude instead of being like, that's potentially dangerous, right? Because, like, if someone shoots an unknown substance on you, like, that's. I think we'd all have a very different reaction today.
True. And then if you look, the guy is reduced to tears at the end. Do you see his face?
He's like,
You can see he's like literally tearing up.
Why?
Okay, I feel kind of bad, but also, like, you decided to shoot someone in the face with a water gun. Like,
Dude, all he did was like.
I feel like
"You're
the
mean."
real alpha reaction would be to laugh it off. But then everyone was saying like, good for Tom Cruise, this makes me like him more.
I don't know.
This
Honestly,
is such an alpha reaction.
I don't know if it's alpha, but I like it. Okay, what are you trying to do with this?
yeah, I don't know if it's alpha, but I do think that, like he's being a little intense. On the other hand, like, what is he supposed to be like? Haha, good one. Thanks for shooting me with a random substance while I walked at a public event. Like,
Yeah.
I just
But-
want to
That guy
know, where
should've
is
done
this
that.
guy now?
By the way, so this came at more or less the time where he was calling that other guy glib, and both of those reactions were like mercilessly mocked back in the day. But now, with the benefit of hindsight, it's very reasonable responses, both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt was being glib.
He was being glib, wasn't he? Like, he hadn't researched it.
I don't know. I feel like in this case, he probably was overreacting. But let us know in the chat what you guys think of the
Thoughts?
situation.
Yeah, thoughts. You're gonna have to let us know. Was
Someone
Tom
said
Cruise,
acid attack.
was Tom Cruise overreacting or was he not? Let us know. All right, guys, we're gonna get started. So, Jonathan Majors is big in the news right now. He is a big-time movie star in an age where there aren't a lot of movie stars these days. Obviously, Creed 3 is doing well at the box office. He plays Kang the Conqueror in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He was arrested over the weekend on charges of third-degree assault and second-degree aggravated harassment, amongst others. He has since been released without bail, and he has been charged by the DA. They're going forward on it. Did you guys think that, given the level of his like growing fame for somebody like this, that he's becoming more and more famous as we, at a time where he's on the rise, he's not on the decline, that this is going to harm somebody like him in the public eye?
What do you mean?
Do you think this is going to harm his career?
Well, it already is.
Yeah.
I don't think
So
it
it's not a
I don't think-
speculation. It's just a fact.
I mean, I don't think anything comes. I mean, the Army ad notwithstanding, one of the main outcomes of this, guys, is after the charging, Jonathan Majors had recently had an ad, like a recruitment ad made for
2
the
of them,
Army,
and they were supposed to air during March Madness.
Yes, and the one that was out already has already been pulled and will no longer be used as. So it is harming him to an extent. I don't think this costs him his role at Marvel.
He needs to
we
get...
need to see the footage.
Yeah,
that's the
I feel like his attorneys are saying, "Oh, we have footage of her recanting," but it's his defense team.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they have
So-
footage
so
from
guys,
inside the vehicle in which
question
they were
is-
having the
So
altercation.
let's tell people what happened first. So what happened is his girlfriend believes that she saw Mr. Majors texting another woman on his phone, and she wanted to take his phone and
giving
get a,
Chris Brown and Rihanna.
and get a peek at his phone to see what he was writing. And they said that he put his hands on her neck. And
He's
that he
actually just
slept
looking
with
at
an open
spicy
hand.
memes on
Yeah.
iFunny or something.
Maybe that's what it is. He's a meme lord, or maybe he's like got like he runs like a libertarian meme account, and he can't have it.
He was on like "Am I the A-hole"
Yeah.
subreddit. Like,
Yeah.
like, don't look at this.
That's even funnier. So he was arrested and then released without bail. And since then, his lawyers have said that they've got video evidence that proves that he didn't do it, and they've got the recanted testimony of the woman who accused him. That woman is his girlfriend. I didn't see a name listed in any of it, but she went to the police the following day. After they slept in different places that night, she went to the police the following day, and because she had bruises on her, that was enough probable cause for them to make an arrest. And this is, I don't know what comes of this. I think that he ends up fine. I think Marvel ends up letting this play out.
He needs Chris Brown's management.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. So
it was a rough couple of years for Chris Brown, but then he's been fine.
was it really? Because
Yeah, people were really angry with him for like a good solid 9 months, and then
He's just such a good singer that
Yeah.
I know, but he
don't know about
turned
that, but-
his like branding from being like Michael Jackson light to I'm a thug, and everyone was like, "Well,
we do have evidence of that.
Well, it's more like I'm just not going to address this. I'm not going to apologize, and inevitably people move on to the next thing.
They really
Especially
do
now
in
that
this
we
age.
have like
Maybe-
the trending page, people are already going to be thinking about something totally different. Be mad at somebody else by the next day, the next week.
I
Maybe-
think with
maybe Jonathan Mayers just needs to learn how to dance."
Yeah, Jonathan Majors. I think the only problem. So they asked him to narrate these Army recruitment ads. He doesn't even appear in them. It's just his voice.
No,
he does,
appears-
yeah.
he
Because
appears in
he's so popular with the youth, right? Like they thought that this is going to inspire young people to join the military. And I think it's interesting that they are saying, because they're in desperate need of help with recruitment. There are every branch of the military except for active duty Marines, active Navy, and the Space Force missed their recruitment goals last year. And then the Army was
How
like,
do they
we
not-
missed our recruitment quota, and so we're going to raise it by 20,000 more. Like,
He's king. He should have been recruiting Space Force people if he's a Marvel worker.
well, they don't need help. They're
Yeah.
fine. The Army
Okay.
needs the help the most.
Yeah.
And so I think, of course, we want to believe innocent till proven guilty, and maybe there is a video of her recanting. I think he's going to have to withstand a trial is the thing. Like this is either going to have to go
He'll settle out of court.
settle out of court, or there'll be new evidence from the police saying we've dropped charges or something. Like this will be something that always follows him around.
Yeah.
So I can't say that like Marvel will drop him, but I do think that from now on, when you Google his name, either like he was at one point accused of domestic violence or he was convicted of strangulation and assault will always come up. And like if he is convicted, then like probably fair. And if it's just something that like gets dismissed, like if his lawyers are being honest and saying, yes, we do really have this footage of her recanting, then like it's sort of it's too bad that this will be the brush that follows him everywhere. I mean, there are so many actors that like get accused of something, everything gets settled, nothing happened, they're completely exonerated, and it still gets attached to the article. When
Here's
you
the
say
thing.
their name.
He's part of the Disney machine. So I think that all it takes is 2 days of Disney writing fluff pieces about how great Kang the Conqueror is, how great Jonathan Majors is. As this
But I don't think
character.
Disney wants to be seen defending a domestic
No, I'm
abuser.
saying, but slowly what will happen is enough puff pieces
we've got
will
a
be-
super
will
chat
be-
from Clef the Misfit. It says, if Ezra Miller could kidnap a teenager to Hawaii and still be the Flash, nothing's going to happen to Majors. Committing crimes only costs your job in Hollywood if you're not currently useful to the entertainment industrial complex.
The problem is the girl was an adult by the time that she left with him, right? So there wasn't a way of proving that there was any type of duress there with the Dakota Iron-Eyes.
Wait.
Remember?
What?
He's talking about Ezra Miller.
Kidnap? Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, well, if it's done without parental permission,
But
I
she was
don't
an
think
adult by that point, wasn't she? She was 19. I believe
The first time that she left the country with him, she was 14.
with permission, though, to go to the set for
I missed the details now. But
for the Fantastic Beasts. But the second time when she left,
well,
she
I
was
mean,
already an adult.
if we're talking about just like
The point is he's a bad person.
the
Like,
point,
yeah. The point is he's a bad person.
she obviously has been
Yeah.
conditioned by Ezra Miller for a
Absolutely.
long time and doesn't understand
and
the
for a lot of
consequences.
these, it's not like it's anything new for actors to be above the law. I'm literally picturing like the Disney just backing up a truck of money to this girl's house and just dropping it in her front yard. Like that's all they have to do, right? Like
I mean,
recant doesn't mean
if
anything.
he's
Recant doesn't mean it
innocent, then
didn't happen.
then show the footage from inside
Yeah.
the cab. I guess that like cab drivers probably have dash cams
Yeah.
a lot of
Oh,
the time
absolutely. Yeah.
that show both the inside and outside of the car. Therefore, drop the footage if he's innocent.
Also, is it possible that she could be in trouble for trying to take his phone, which is technically theft, if she's trying to steal someone's personal property?
Well, okay, hold on. Does it say they have video of the incident or that they have video of her recanting?
They have footage from inside the vehicle where the episode took place and testimony from the driver and others who both saw and heard the episode, and then 2 written statements from the woman recanting.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting that they have written statements and that she hasn't just dropped the complaint with the police, right? Like,
well, she recanted, but the DA's moving forward with the charges. I don't
I
think
thought
they
Alvin
need-
Bragg had a lot more
Yeah.
on his plate with, the imminent indictment of Trump and all of that.
Yeah, whatever happened with
But,
that? That's the real question.
Yeah, I thought he would
we're
be
all
too
wondering.
busy to be dealing with Jonathan Majors drama.
I'm honestly surprised that he got arrested at all. Like that was actually shocking to me. Like it does feel in a weird way kind of coordinated because it's like celebrities get away with crap all the time. This feels, pardon me for saying, very mild compared to a lot of the stuff that these people
it
get
seems
away
weird
with.
too that it's making it feel like the attorneys have the video from the cab and not the police, and you would think the police would like.
Attorney can
least-
afford better, has more resources, I'm sure.
Well, couldn't you just get a judge to sign off a subpoena of the cab's records and get the cam? Like, there are ways to compel people to turn over evidence, and so
Probably
theoretically they would
faster.
have already witnessed it faster than arresting him. Like, they have to have enough probable cause to arrest him, and
They
they're
said the
saying that's the
bruises on
bruising.
her.
But
Yeah.
then for their investigation, it's totally plausible for them to get the cab footage. Like,
Probably
to me,
takes
in this
time to
kind
get a
of
warrant.
like. He said, she said, I mean, obviously she's got bruises, so that's indicative of something more serious. Like, the next step, if you're the police, would be to try to see, like, what cab did this happen in? Can we see the inside, right? Yeah. And instead, like, why does it seem like only the attorneys have this footage?
the attorney
Maybe the
can
New York
afford
police
to
are
pay
just
for it.
not telling us everything.
The attorney can afford to go to the guy and say, like, I will give you this much money for a copy of your security footage because it's Jonathan Majors. He's probably got more than enough money to afford an attorney who can put money under the table to get access to the footage first. Wouldn't be surprised if
but
that
then
was the case.
You could still get it,
Yeah.
right?
And that likely will
Getting
happen.
it first
This is,
doesn't dismiss not getting it at all.
But the funny thing about this is like now that this has all come out, there are people who are just coming out of the woodwork to like just crap on Majors. There's people calling him a sociopath and calling him
What?
Yeah. So
Is there anything else that he did to piss them off, or
Yeah.
was it just this?
it was the 2 directors who talked about him. They said he was vicious. He alleged that Majors alleged vicious, cruel behavior and like in a bunch of other stuff from these directors saying that he was a sociopath. So it says, this is one director. It says, A.B. Allen, a rising filmmaker, said, there's a particular actor relatively new on the scene who Twitter's violently fallen head over heels for, who in actuality is a vicious, cruel, abusive human being, both professionally and in his personal life. In every new viral thirst tweet about him drives me insane.
Thirst tweet?
Thirst tweet, yeah. Like,
I mean, those drive me insane regardless of whether the person in question is a sociopath.
Yeah.
And that's a word that people are very like loose with these days.
Yeah.
Sociopath and narcissist.
The other is Tim Nikolai, who says, I'm just going to say this about Jonathan Majors and be done with it. Folks at Yale and the broader New York City community have known about him for years. He's a sociopath and an abuser, and that is how virtually everyone speaks about him. It's a shame it took this long.
You know, it makes you look bad when you say that it's been an open secret in my closed community for so many years that this person is an abusive sociopath. Now I'm so glad that it finally came out. Like, you're the bad guy in that story. Yep. You just admitted that you were covering for somebody who is allegedly an abusive sociopath.
Yeah, they had no problem.
It's the same thing with me too.
Yeah.
Like, everyone knew that Harvey Weinstein was doing this. Yeah. I'm so glad it finally came out. Like, you were complicit, though.
So what would you do if you're Disney or if you're the Army? What do you do here? Do they just wait it out and wait and see what happens?
The Army just needs to pull some strings and make sure that college stays unaffordable to middle class.
But that doesn't make military enlistment go up. Like, then you just have a bunch of people who don't join the military and they don't go to college, which isn't necessarily bad if you don't want to go.
Yeah. Or you can finally give people some stakes in this country and then they might feel like fighting for it.
Only 9% of people who are eligible to enlist in the military actually are interested in enlisting in the military. It's like such a small percentage that we don't have enough people who qualify and who would want to be in the military to fill those spots.
Do you know what the statistics are for people who join the military but come to like being in the military?
I don't. I mean,
is there like a job satisfaction form
anecdotal experience? Yeah. So like you would look at it, I assume you would look at it the same way you look at like college retention, right? Like if you look up any college, you can see what their retention is like. After the first year of being there, how many people leave? And that could be for a number of reasons, financial, or you just don't like the school or whatever's going on. But some schools retain, 70% of their freshman class, and some schools retain 30% of their freshman class.
Usually
and that's kind of interesting.
They drop out of school or they go to another college?
It can be a combination of reasons. Right. With the military, so you have a more locked-in contract than you do when you sign college, right? Like it's actually difficult to get out of the military once you are in. And so
they lie. They lie to these guys. They tell them some wild stuff.
They lie all the time.
They're like, oh, we're gonna put you in France where you can flirt with French chicks.
Yeah, basically you're French babes.
Yeah. I've known people who like take the is it the ASVAB, the test that you take to like see where you're gonna place, and they'll be like, yep, you got this score, perfect, you want this job, that's no problem, you qualified. And then the second they go to slide them the contract, unless you read it, the job that you're signing up for is actually different, and you have to be the one to catch it at the last moment. Like, why would they do that?
They did an episode of NCIS about a guy who's like he's a sneaky military recruiter.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think that happens all the time because there's so much pressure. The part of it is if you take away the people who get removed from the military because they're dishonorably discharged or something else, you'd have to look at the people who then re-enlist, right? Like the retention is also not there. And that could also be for a number of reasons. I just know from people in my life who've been in the military, like especially the people in my life who didn't go through college first, so they weren't on the officer track, they were not happy. They felt like they were not getting the opportunities that they would have been afforded to them unless they went to college. But to go to college, you have to spend the GI Bill. Like it becomes this weird cycle where it's like, it's a system that I don't want to be a part of. Like, why do you need to be go to college to become a commissioned officer? And I think there's a lot of reckoning with our understanding of the higher education system that like we need to have to be able to talk about like why people don't want to be in the military.
So we need Jonathan Majors dressed up telling you like you're going to go fight for Zelensky over there. That's the honest version.
Their mistake was thinking that young people coming out of high school care about Marvel actors.
I mean, he's also in
or that the people who watch Marvel are qualified to join the military.
Oh yeah.
70% of
like is there a correlation?
Well, 70% of, this is really mean, but 70% of 17 to 24-year-olds who theoretically would be in military recruiting age can't
We've got
qualify.
one from Joshua French.
Because of drug abuse and wait.
I spent 20 years re-enlisted for bonuses. I always went where I was promised as active duty. As a reservist, I volunteered for my deployments.
Okay.
Yeah. There are some people who find it really successful, and I think that's great, but I think there are other people who find that the pipeline of what happens when you're a non-commissioned officer is really frustrating.
But the question is, Joshua, did you join because whoever the example, like who would have been who would have been Jonathan Majors 20 years ago?
Also, just make more military propaganda movies like they did in the 2000s.
Yeah,
it worked.
Well, with this like video, they're trying to relaunch the be all you can be or something slogan that was popular in the 80s, right? So like they are trying to bring back the retro nostalgia, very similar to Top Gun.
See,
right?
that's the problem.
Why don't they get Tom Cruise?
They should have had that.
They should have had Tom Cruise, but he is a white male, and so he's probably not as
promoting the Air
them.
Force, not the Army.
I think it's also worth considering that it's awesome if you found your place in the military and it worked for you, but how many of the people that you enlisted with left, right? It reminds me of corporate consulting, right?
Yeah.
Like I've had friends who go to college and they get this really high fancy corporate consulting job and they travel and they work extremely hard, and then the people leave pretty quickly. Every year, a certain number of people leave because it's getting narrower and narrower, and because it's a very demanding lifestyle. Not everyone who's in the military wants to do that for 40 years.
I do believe, guys, that I've seen a lot more reasonable takes about Jonathan Majors. Like I saw a lot of people who have very reasonable takes, but still posting like all of you. Maybe their timelines just look different than mine, but their timelines, they're saying like all of you people who were judging Jonathan Majors before all the facts are in. I'm like, I didn't see anyone saying that. Everybody that I saw was saying like, innocent until proven guilty. Who knows? He said, she said.
I'm seeing a lot of like, Schadenfreude watching Marvel burn would be fun, but this isn't going to cause that much of a crisis for Marvel.
The stuff that I saw was like, do we really think this guy was going to give us a huge military recruitment class?
Yeah.
Like, obviously innocent proven guilty, but like, maybe this isn't the loss of a campaign. You know what I mean? But if they don't make their numbers, are they going to point to this and be like, well, you guys wouldn't let us have Jonathan Majors? So.
Probably.
I did, however, put a poll up for you guys that said, should Jonathan Majors be losing work due to allegations against him? I got yes. The two options were yes, he did it. Why would she lie? And the second option was no, innocent until proven guilty. As of right now, 85% say innocent until proven guilty. He should not be losing work. But there have been cases recently there have been a couple of stories in the news recently, whether we're talking Royland losing his job right after all the stuff that came out.
Joshua French said, I joined in 1996. My father was a Navy SEAL in Nam. My grandfather was a Master Chief in World War II.
Master Chief?
A legacy.
That's
wow.
cool. I think there are lots of people, like that's the other thing that we talk about when we talk about military recruiting. There are fewer people who know what is happening in the military. So if you have a family member and you're aware of like the benefits or you're aware of the lifestyle, like I think that does make you more likely to consider joining. It's not as abstract maybe. I will say Jonathan Majors is not actually, I mean, unless there's another development I don't know about, he hasn't gotten dropped by whatever.
Just the Army one.
Just the
right
Army.
now.
And I don't think they asked for the money back. Like they already paid him for the ad. So they are losing money on this, but he's not having to pay back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's actually losing nothing.
But how many people are aware of this going on that would affect like military?
It's pretty,
sign-ups?
I mean, it's picking up a lot of steam.
This has
It's
been a
pretty
big, this was a big story all weekend.
The Army marketing office responded to the situation.
No way.
Yeah.
Like that in itself is bizarre to me
They said
would even need
innocent
to.
until proven guilty, but because this is basically because it's a hot issue, like we're going to pull
I
the
feel
axe.
like innocent until proven guilty is the biggest lie in this country, at least in this era. Like that doesn't apply at all. Right now it's like if you
the
get
companies aren't set up in a way that allows them to behave like that. They're asked to respond immediately.
if there's an
anytime something
allegation,
happens.
basically you are tarred and feathered.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. All right, we got some super chats there, Mary.
Dictator James said, how many parties to get Zoolander, Brett?
Like a harmless gasoline fight. What are we talking here? Are we talking like,
bleached hair,
We need
leather pants.
Yeah,
In a
leather
bubble.
pants.
Liquid steel.
There will be no leather pants. I can tell you that right
Why
now.
not?
Maybe a cheetah print button up.
And then you have to do the
shirt,
faces. so we
I
know
was
that you're
I was
modeling.
told on Friday that I looked like I needed to eat a steak, which I took as a huge compliment and a huge insult all
Is
at
it-
the same time.
I get that too, and I'm like, should I feel insulted right
yeah,
now?
like I was like, so are you saying I'm too skinny, or are you saying that like I
You're a
used
skinny
to be,
legend?
Yeah, like
You're iron deficient. Maybe they're
yeah.
commenting on the fact that you're pale.
How many crisis parties until Brett gets the buccal fat removal surgery
I don't
to look
need
more
it.
like Zoolander?
I don't need it. I already have like fairly sunken cheeks, and I have facial hair most of the time anyway. And the funny thing is after Friday, I looked back at the episode and like I hate it because for my facial hair, it doesn't work to trim. Like it just doesn't. Like it always patches. Like you could trim yours if you wanted to. I can't. I have to just either let it grow out and then just cut it all off at the same time. Sucks.
Do you guys see that new meme, which is like a male model, and he gets asked questions and he just answers in odd ways?
No.
No?
Oh man,
Is this real or is
Sounds
this
like me
fake?
except for the male model part.
Yeah, it's with the background music is like, "Baby, don't hurt me."
Oh, the
No more.
It's over 9,000 said, just because we have chiseled abs and stunning features, it doesn't mean that we too can't not die in a freak gasoline fight accident.
What's the world coming to when 2 million models can't get engaged in a harmless gasoline fight? I need to watch that movie
That's
tonight.
such a good movie.
It's so good.
It is.
Oh, God.
He wants to communicate.
Jesus.
Thank you, Keenan Smith. He was the one. I took the suggestions from Twitter. I made a tweet saying like, who would give me a suggestion for Crisis Party. He sent the actual clip from that, which is the scene where in The Mask where he falls flat on the ground. He has to pull himself up and he goes, "Look, Ma, I'm roadkill."
I'm massively disappointed right now because I thought that we were gonna get a 21 Jump Street.
No. I mean, I didn't see that. I didn't see that message until later. I'm sorry.
Brett, we could have used this platform
not angry,
to
I'm just
de-radicalize
disappointed.
people with our crisis parties, but you know.
Could literally like end human atrocity, but no. Okay.
Brett didn't find it
I
important.
feel like
enough.
you guys came to this party too late. You should have sent these messages earlier. It sounded
No,
like.
Brett,
jump to our immediate whims immediately.
It got caught between a couple of messages. I apologize.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isaac Martinez said, gonna see John Wick 4 today. Any thoughts on John Wick 4?
How many times are gonna kill this guy's dog?
We probably should have gone.
He
and
gets a
reviewed
new
it.
dog every movie that gets killed every
he's got a
movie.
dog.
When is Peter going to intervene here?
Yeah, seriously.
Well, there was a story about PETA just recently. They wanted the horse. Oh my gosh, I forgot about this. The horse that Galadriel rode in Rings of Power died. And PETA's like,
Oh, no.
CGI horses from here on out. And Nerdrotic
But it didn't die because Galadriel rode the horse.
And Nerdrotic
You don't know
tweeted like died of secondhand embarrassment for the show.
What are they implying?
Yeah, they want CGI everything, just like the people who are anti-gun want people to use rubber guns.
And what is
on
she
set.
supposed to do? Be suspended on transparent cords?
Guys, I just realized I'm enjoying Diet Coke.
Ugh.
And by Donald Trump standards, that means I'm a fat person.
Well, he only said he's never seen a thin person drinking Diet Coke, so you could be the first.
I think it means I'm getting pudgy.
Darn.
Well, only you can determine your weight. I don't know what to tell you.
So PETA got involved in that, and also, Isaac Martinez mentioned in the chat. Remember, we talked about it last week, how they wanted to use vegan burgers only for Good Burger 2.
Lol.
Like PETA is like, I hate PETA. Like,
We need to just
I hate
stop
PETA for their lack
responding
of,
every time that they say something like that.
There was some baseball team in the Midwest that has like food mascots, so like a hamburger and a ketchup bottle. And
I actually
else.
just bought a hat from the Cedar Rapids Colonels.
Just chilling in
it's a
Cedar
corn,
Rapids.
and it's well,
I don't know which it is, but like one of these teams had it, and PETA wrote to them and was like, "You desperately need to have a vegan hot dog be one of these people
God.
because we need to show that you don't have to eat animals to like whatever."
And how would it look vegan?
It was green, and I thought that was the most unappealing thing. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Also, no one is changing their dietary habits because they saw a theoretically vegan hot dog.
They've got to be trolling.
No, they weren't. They're completely serious. They had like a whole mock-up for the costume. This is like a very sincere. Who gets paid by PETA every day to come up with these things? This is someone's salary job.
Yeah.
When are the layoffs at PETA? I don't understand.
This is what I don't get about PETA. It's like, or vegans in general. Okay, so I am morally disgusted and opposed to meat. So I'm going to make alternatives that simulate and recreate meat products.
Well, isn't the idea
exclusively.
they're not disgusted by meat, they're disgusted by the process in which meat is made.
They like the taste,
I
but
can
they
respect,
don't want to.
but green hot dog mascot translating to ending industrial farming, I'm not getting the connection.
I don't get it at all.
Corey Anderson said, "Can we get a show with Mary, HCB, and Taylor called Hot Chicks Talking?" What would we talk about?
Put it in the suggestion box, and we'll get to it when we get to it.
What would we talk about?
You have to
Please.
tweet this at Tim. You know what I mean?
Be
What
more
would the-
specific.
What would topic number one? Okay, it's day one. It's day one of Hot Chicks Talking, episode 1. What do you guys?
I'm insulted that me, the fourth hot chick, was not mentioned in Hot Chicks Talking.
Fair. How
I mean,
can we have
Dane
a
is every woman.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
There is no hot shit talking without Dane. I just wanna say
Seriously.
it.
Let's read one more, and then we'll move on.
Terrence Rice said, "You all need to watch Trevor Wallace's new Rise and Grind video. Has a great cameo from someone you guys used to talk about all the time." Well, we beat you to it.
Yes. All right, guys, we're moving on. So iDubbbz is in the news. iDubbbz, who I wasn't super familiar with, but was familiar with Creator Clash just because
we've talked about Creator
yeah,
Clash in the past because of me.
Yeah.
It's like something I would like to go to just because I love drama and I love the shift to like taking online beef into the real world space.
Yeah.
Like actually backing up the words that you tweet.
Kind of nice, right? Like they're actually plus
there are stakes to it.
They're explaining it's funny. I was watching some videos talking about this. Basically, what happened, guys, is it was supposed to be Chris Ray Gun versus Froggy Fresh in at Creator Clash, and Froggy Fresh made some very uncouth comments that ended up insulting iDubbbz's girlfriend, not wife, girlfriend.
He didn't insult her. If anything, it was a compliment.
Yeah. He said he'd subscribe to her OnlyFans.
No. He said that if he loses his fight, then he'll subscribe to the OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
You didn't say that part.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Chris Ray Gun beating anyone in a fight.
No?
Like, I feel like that guy would lose to a
I mean, all they need
win.
to do is just rig the fight in Froggy Fresh's favor. If iDubbbz is that opposed to, I mean, I don't know why he can't support his girlfriend's grind. If he were a real feminist, then he would support her and
go off, queen,
as a girl boss with her OnlyFans. But I guess not. You know, I guess that he just wants to be controlling and misogynist.
And they're going to lose a lot of money on this because Froggy Fresh had his list of charities. Like you said, it's all the most inoffensive charities, which I kind of like.
It was like children's cancer and Alzheimer's and all of these different like charities that you cannot possibly have an objection to.
Yeah. Like,
hopefully.
and the idea here was that they were going to box, and then now you're not going to box. And it's funny because they're trash talking, which is a quintessential part of combat sports, is the lead up to it. You talk trash because it promotes the fight.
Yeah, I guess it's different if you're trash talking the organizer of the fight rather than the guy that you're going up against.
Yeah.
Chris Ray Gun, I'm sure, would be game to go back and forth and like have a fake online beef, but iDubbbz is too fragile to
which wasn't part of his brand, you know? Wasn't part of his brand talking about how people were too fragile back in the day?
Right. Which is why, like, I find this so hypocritical, the way that he's changed his public image over the years. He used to do the Content Cop series, where he essentially was like, what was originally supposed to be accountability culture.
Yeah.
Calling out hypocrisy and ridiculous behavior of other creators that was like genuinely deserved and done in a very clever way. Sometimes you could say he took it too far, but he was like a shock jock. He literally said the N-word and like the F slur on YouTube in 2015 or something.
This is
he was that guy.
But to not only that guy, he did it to mess with other creators that were kind of PG.
Yeah, so like
lol.
He went to Tana Mojo's meet and greet when she was like literally 17 or 18 years old or something. Pretended to be a fan and wanted to like pose for a picture with her. This was all planned, by the way. And he puts a big thumbs up and then he says, say hard R N-word. She freaks out, runs away, and then makes a video on her channel claiming all of this crazy stuff about their encounter that did not happen. Like, he put me in a chokehold and, you know, like all of this crazy stuff. Like, she, of course, being a story time YouTuber, totally exaggerated and lied about the situation, which was her job. And then he finally made his like content cop against her and showed the footage of their interaction, showed that he did not do that stuff. Yeah. He did, however, say the N-word.
And now he's with an e-thought of a heart of gold.
He did that because she has, you know, been called out for saying the N-word herself, has lied about it, denied it many times, admitted it, and then apologized, but then lied about it again, and also like hypocritically called other people out for doing the same thing.
It's funny, in the chat, they mentioned like, look, that era of YouTube was,
over.
But it was a very special time to be in that kind of, how would you call it? Like what would you call that era of YouTube?
It's not just like anti-SJW. Yeah. iDubbbz was like way more mainstream than that.
Yeah.
I would say like Chris Ray Gun is an example of like more of an anti-SJW YouTuber at the time. But iDubbbz was a really big channel back then, and now I guess ever since he started dating this chick Anissa Jama, I believe is her last name, he's gone completely like male feminist, woke, leftist.
Maybe he's just
he has
older.
the mullet, he has the mustache, he has the beanie that he wears weirdly high up on his head.
They never covered their ears.
They never. It's
That way they
also
can
just
hear
like a
women
full
better.
inch above their ears.
Yeah.
I not a fan.
People just
But
change.
he's like that woke scold now. When like his not so far off past, he was, you know, committing all of the sins that he's like so scandalized by now.
Let me give you an example of another person this has happened to, because I was reading about it over the weekend in the shock jock arena of Howard Stern. Did you know that when Selena died, he said that her music was horrible and that they had horrible taste, and then he played her music with gunshots in the background.
Wow.
And he's had a story. He's continued to work forever.
And
People who
used to
can
be a
dish
much
it out,
less
but they
sensitive.
can't take it. That's Howard
dude.
Stern.
Yeah, like, and then you look at where he is now, being just the soy cuck that
Living
he is,
off
like,
the riches that you made,
Yeah.
being that radio shock jock, and then scolding other people who tried to do the same, not even the same way, like very tamely.
I
Like,
mean, he's broken. Like, he couldn't go out for like birth control time.
But that's what's happening now. It's just happening to the YouTube era. And I was actually talking about this now that IRL is doing the call-in show. I'm like, I like how it's just becoming, we're just slowly horseshoe coming back around to radio.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, everything comes full circle, literally. So,
yeah, I do like that.
There's
as
a
well.
$20 one right there.
It's from
Old
Old Warrior 34. He said, as someone who used to be a close friend to Anissa, I can 100% see this being her call because her mom is super insecure about what her daughter does. That's a bad look.
That's you know, that's a cautionary tale.
You have an OnlyFans. You made this decision. This is your line of work. Deal with the consequences and don't act like a whiny baby about it.
You want to make the good money, the fast money, the $30,000 a month or something like that. You know, get your bag, queen.
I remember,
but just don't complain at the downside.
iDubbbz making this whole like copium video about how his GF has an OnlyFans and how he's totally okay with that. And
Same.
he was like trying to brag about the fact that he, you know, in part lives off of the money that she makes from this page.
That's not the flex you think
and
it is.
you're right. It's simply not the flex you think it is. Like, it's literally like my GF gave me a Nintendo Switch while she's on a date with her other
makes
boyfriend.
The soy boy
like, it's
face.
literally that meme. And he's just obviously coping hard and is easily triggered when anyone brings up the fact that she has this page, because it's, you know, not respectable to, you know, be cucked by the entire internet who has access to your girlfriend.
How are you going to have such thin skin when you're doing this?
Yeah.
Like you're sexualizing and profiting from it and monetizing it, and then someone makes light of it. It's like,
how dare you?
Sean.
How absolutely dare you?
Yeah.
Who would you guys like to see fight instead? You could pick people that were going to duke it out. Who would you have?
I mean, the dream fight is what's the Hassan Piker
Versus who?
What's his name? The
Tim Pool? No.
Imagine.
No. Hassan was like refusing to fight Sam Hyde.
Sam Hyde.
But iDubbbz also refused to fight Sam Hyde. I think they're scared.
Yeah, Sam Hyde like beat the shit out of someone. Like the last time
he
was
looks
one of
like
those.
he could like clock iDubbbz.
Yeah.
For
oh,
sure.
I mean, he'd murder iDubbbz, but Hassan.
Or Hassan. But at least Hassan would have a fighting chance.
Yeah, he's pretty swole.
Yeah, I think he could.
As swole as
he could at
communists
least
can
try. But yeah, that's the ironic part of this whole creator clash thing, is like when you're challenged, you're not going to go up against the person that everyone's requesting. iDubbbz is instead fighting Alex Wasabi.
I feel that if Hassan Piker is going to be in a creator clash, he should only eat the food from a bread line. To prove that communists can...
He's going to be waiting a while.
That's a good one. Like, maybe we could get like PewDiePie versus Moist Critical.
Who's Moist Critical?
They couldn't get PewDiePie, though.
No.
They couldn't do it.
The insurance on having people of that would probably be insane. I would love to see those two. They're kind of both similarly skinny
I wish there were more women competing. They have mostly men
Well, that's boring.
boxing each
Oh,
other. Like,
Charlie Kirk versus Vosh.
Oh, yeah.
Charlie Kirk would
but then
wax
they would
him,
have to go
I
into
think.
the political arena.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I want fists.
No, what they do is they beat the crap out of each other first, and then they have to immediately afterwards have a debate.
And Coulter and Anna Kasparian.
Yeah, I
Or
mean,
if you
I
can't
heard
settle the debate, then you have to box.
No, I
No, I like the
idea.
idea of afterwards because then if they're concussed, watch
Yeah.
them try and make their
They're
arguments.
like, just
I love that.
Ben Shapiro's. They're like, but.
or he's like speaking extremely
Yeah.
slowly because he's
For
like a
once.
little bit dizzy.
Imagine for a second that. Yeah.
Ben Shapiro and Sam Cedar.
And Anna Kasparian now is basically alt-right because she said she doesn't want to be called a birthing person.
What's that thing where they like they'll like box and then they'll go play like chess on the side, then they'll go back in like
Oh, yeah.
do it like that.
That
Like,
was a hit.
one round of boxing, one round of debate, one round of boxing, one round of debate, and we'll just see who survives.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, like it'd be hilarious.
That would be like, who could you get? Like,
It's just a guy like rapidly changing in and out of his like remote control.
Oh my God,
butt
AOC
plug
versus
for cheating
Bobert.
on chess.
AOC
Oh my
versus.
gosh, AOC.
I mean, if they do AOC versus Bobert, I need to know when so I can buy my tickets in advance.
Dude,
you
same.
and Alex Stein are like, yes, let's go.
Front row.
It was just me and Stein both there. Like he's just cheering her on, and I'm.
You guys are
cheering-
each in their corners, like giving
Yeah.
them a pep talk.
Amaranth isn't on the lineup, but she did post a picture of herself in like a boxing outfit with boxing gloves earlier. So maybe she's like hinting that she will, or she'll like have some kind of like side career, like side hustle in boxing.
Chad's very confident that Hannah Clark can beat someone up. Is what I don't know. Chad's like, yeah, I bet Hannah Clark can
Who's
beat
my
some people up.
challenger, chat?
Anna Kasparian.
Someone said
guess.
AOC and Candace Owens.
That'd be pretty good.
There's a whole bunch of them that would be fantastic to see.
We know who wins. the
Jack
intellectual
Huger and Alex
battle.
Jones?
Stop it.
Oh my
Also
God.
both get winded after throwing one punch.
Wait,
no offense
who?
to either one.
No, but Alex Jones has all those vitamins he
Who
shows.
against
So
Who against Alex Jones?
Cenk Uger and Alex Jones.
No, Alex Jones
Weight
has a lot
class-wise,
of
that
like
makes sense.
muscle under
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I bet
He's
Alex Jones would win.
definitely.
But even if you're like, have you ever seen like super heavyweight like UFC fighters? Like even if they have a lot of muscle, it takes a lot of energy to move that muscle. So it's a very different fight than
True.
people who are lightweight and like kind of scrappier.
sumo
and
wrestling between Shank and Alex Jones.
Maybe.
I heard actually that Gwyneth Paltrow has been caught peddling the exact same like vitamins that are manufactured that Alex Jones sells.
So she's a fan of Alex Jones.
So
That's what you're saying.
That does imply
You
that
heard it
she's
first.
an InfoWars stan. Yeah, she's been caught like literally peddling from the
She
same
needs super male
manufacturer.
vitality.
Yeah, she has that super female vitality, I guess.
Like I actually just saw earlier like a friend of mine was posting stickers of like he lives in an apartment complex and there's somebody in his apartment complex that posts InfoWars stickers on all the garbage cans. He's like, I need to know who this person is who loves InfoWars so much that he's posting like stickers on our garbage cans in the year 2023.
I wonder if he just has a ton left over, right? There was a time when he was a huge fan.
Could have been.
And now he's like,
Yep.
well, what am I going to do with all these?
I know a good dating show. It'd be all the people that Project Veritas like honeypots into like confessing information, and they all get
It's
sent.
like The Bachelorette, except you're also having to extract secrets.
They all get sent to Love Island. It's like, well, I exposed company secrets, but now I'm looking for love.
But during the rose ceremony, when they're like supposed to be pairing up, they're
Do
like,
feds
well,
deserve
but I
love?
do know this about you. Like they blackmail each other into like keeping them on.
Yeah, that would be great.
All right, let's go to Super Chats, Marion.
Clef the Misfit said, I'd like to compliment both ladies on their jacket game today. Also, black is definitely HCB's color.
Oh, thanks, man.
I also want to point out, guys, I have like an update regarding the Jonathan Majors situation. This is an article from ABC7. It says, police sources say Majors called 911 himself to report his concern about his girlfriend with whom he lives. When police arrived, sources say the girlfriend told a different story, that she and Majors were in a cab on the way home from Brooklyn when he physically attacked her. So who knows? Like, this is going to end up becoming a he said, she said to the moon and back.
I hope that they crossed state lines while in the cab so
And
that
it
it goes to the
becomes
FBI.
federal.
They're going from Brooklyn to Manhattan.
And then
They
that
didn't.
can be how they start that reality show you were just talking about. They're working on that case together, and then they can end up on a reality show.
The Fed dating show, you mean?
Yeah, it's a Fed dating show. No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
It's going to be
the
called Feds Deserve Love Too. Porco Rosso Forever said, so we're doing meme review as was promised?
We are holding off.
I heard there aren't any memes or something, right?
We are holding off on meme review to better curate. There was some miscommunication over the weekend, and I got distracted making my Crisis Party sound effects, so it's actually my fault.
No. Listen, memes have to be delivered in order to be reviewed.
Yeah.
If you do not provide memes, how am I going to give you a take on memes?
You guys just make your own memes to review? That'd be horrible.
Yeah, like what I was like, oh my god, Dane's so based, and it's like was shot by Dane. Like,
also, guys, I do want to mention, I would like to ask everyone, if you have topics that you'd like to talk about with us, go ahead and post them in the Pop Culture Crisis Live Discord, which we now have.
I wasn't aware that we had this.
We have our own Discord now. I go in there and I talk to people. It's
I thought that's where you guys got your memes from.
No, that's the
really
subreddit. That's the subreddit.
Okay.
But I've been taking to, like, it's so funny now. Like people like know, like I get messages on Discord at like 3 a.m. They're like, tag me, and they're like Brett's probably up, and I'm like, well, I am, but that's insulting.
That's none of your business.
That's none of your business. But yeah, they do. They're like, Brett's probably up. I'm like, well, I'm not answering that. Put my phone down because I don't want to feel like I have to.
I don't think I'm gonna be like making my foray into the Discord because I have enough Fed allegations as it is.
Yeah.
I made my entrance, and the voice chat was giving the worst dating advice of all time.
What was it?
Good. I mean, what was it?
I'm dying to know.
I mean, it was just more like, let me tell you about the nature of women. Like,
what did they say?
I mean, unpolite things.
Oh.
I'll keep.
It's members only content.
Yeah.
Got it. Olivia Claire said, Hydra couldn't watch live today, but wanted me to tell Brett happy Wednesday. Great to see Hannah Claire and Dane on together. Mary, I love your jacket. Thanks.
Happy Wednesday, Brett.
It is a
good old Wednesday.
It's a ladies' jacket day today.
Yeah.
So, is it International Ladies Jacket Day?
Yeah.
Oh, you're wearing
Dane's wearing a jacket too. I guess you missed the memo.
I feel like yours might be confused with a sweater, though.
I've been complimented about my earth tones lately.
Oh,
I can't pull off earth tones.
I think you are in autumn.
Yeah.
I think that's true.
Am I? Okay, well.
I'm also
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Next, we're going to find your Kibby body type.
What's that?
There's like a very complex system of organizing women's body types called the Kibby system. And I can't
It's based
even
on the
begin
proportion of
to-
like your limbs, your shoulders, your waist, things like that. There's technically an equivalent for men, but it's a little different. And it got really popular. I mean, it's always been popular, but it's having sort of a renaissance right now on social media. So it'll say like if you have angular shoulders that are wider than your hips, like this is your type, and you should dress in this way.
We lived at a time where we just didn't have the ability to like just sit around and think about stuff like that, where like you had to worry like where your next meal was going to come from.
But it was made by like a guy in the fashion industry, so that is what he worries about all day.
But I'm saying there was a time when human beings just couldn't worry about such.
We always
frivolous
had
things.
fashion.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think for women that's always a big deal because showing off, signaling kind of like it's the same thing with like why women have long hair. It's supposed to be on some subconscious level a sign of fertility, right?
Being hot is about survival of the species, Brett.
It's why babies are cute, because if they weren't cute, you wouldn't want to take care of them when they're screaming, right?
And
your brain looks at them and is like, cute, must take care of.
And that has to do with figuring out whether you're in autumn or not.
Well, if I wore stuff that made me look ugly, I'm less likely to trap a man.
Fair enough.
And if that's my
Trap
goal,
a man.
yeah, of course. But if that's the goal, then like,
Gotcha.
of course, I want to be conscious of how I present myself to the world. I think now it's less vital than in times because you can lie through like filters and stuff like that. But
did you see that one of like the 55-year-old guy who'd been like using a filter to make himself look like a 20-year-old girl for like the last several years?
Dear God.
but it's technically not catfishing.
that can't possibly
It is
be
him.
that
Yeah,
convincing.
it was.
Because they have all the ones
For
where it,
you,
like,
maybe.
where it, like switches your gender, like Snapchat.
Well, it
had a
wasn't.
filter
No, it
like
wasn't
that
for me
a
because I'd
while.
never seen it. But I'm saying there was like a collection of like he was very, very well known. Somebody else would have to.
Dude, the
figure it
gender
out.
swap ones are horrifying when you're a man with a beard.
Yeah.
They leave the beard. Yeah.
I did the Snapchat gender one with my brother next to me, so like it turned me into a man and like put us next to each other, and I honestly cannot decide if we look alike or not. But mine, he's always clean shaven, and mine had like a really thick beard. It's very weird.
They're asking for you in the Discord right now. I said she doesn't have a Discord.
I have never had a Discord.
Sorry, guys.
It's honestly a principle of mine that I never will.
Since the beginning, since I've known you, you're like anti-Discord.
All right, let's do one more and then we'll move on.
Carnell said it's been reported that Majors called 911 himself to report his concern about his GF. That one interesting aspect of his lawyer's statement was that this woman was in the middle of an emotional crisis.
Yeah.
And that was part of the altercation, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I just like the return to, framing women as hysteric every time that they have a complaint.
Hey, why don't you calm down? Calm down. You're overreacting.
You're being glib.
You're being glib.
All right, guys, we're moving on. We're gonna get into this next topic. I was particularly annoyed with all of the promotion regarding the Joker recently. They're going very hard in this concept. They're talking about Lady Gaga a lot. She's playing Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is a big deal. DC makes a lot of money off Harley Quinn. And in this article, they wrote the Direct wrote an entire piece about Lady Gaga kisses a woman in new Joker 2 set video. Ooh, Lady Gaga kissing chicks. It's not that big of a deal. My problem with this is, look, they spent the better part of a year trying to tell every single one of us that there was going to be an incel revolution and movie theater walls would be splattered with blood because this movie was going to
blood and clown paint.
That this movie was just going to end everyone's ability to keep quiet anymore, and we were screwed because apparently Todd Phillips made the incel revolution movie. BS, in the movie theater, in the production company realized it. They started not allowing the press in there because they were like, they'd get in there and be like, excuse me, Mr. Phoenix, how do you feel about the possibility that your movie is going to cost a bunch of kids their lives? Like, what am I supposed to say that, right?
Of course,
I like that violent incels hate CNN so much that they reformed. They were like, nope, not doing it.
They took the high road just to spite the mainstream media narrative.
Yeah. And it's so the main part of this is like, look, it's not a big deal. It's not like the bisexuality was not a huge part of Harley Quinn's character beforehand. I just want to know, where the hell is all of the fear that was there before? Now aren't just not scared of it. They're like all on board. Like, this movie's going to be great because it's got Lady Gaga in it. Lady Gaga is kind of a, she's
going to protect us from the incels.
Yes, she's like the Madonna of her age who will protect us from the incels.
But if the argument is like incels won't go see the movie because Lady Gaga's in it, and therefore we won't have this revolution of whatever, or like no violence because of them, like, that logic follows, right? Like, if they're saying she is the deterrent, the way it's like an apple a day keeps the doctor away, like
Lady
Gaga in a movie and no one will go see it.
Now that she's in it, it's got female representation and it's not just about a straight white male. Therefore, now they can support it.
I want to start a rumor that there's going to be like a militant lesbian uprising because Lady Gaga's in it or something.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's a
I have no evidence for this.
idea.
No, if anything bad happens, but
led by Kevin Bacon.
Sure, anyone. I mean, I feel like if we're saying certain actors or certain storylines trigger certain people, like, I could make a shot in the dark, and if I'm wrong, who cares? But if I'm right, I'm a genius.
Dude, I'm down to start rumors.
So
she does kiss a woman. See,
look, we'll watch.
This is a bizarre video.
It is okay. So here it is.
Looks
guys.
unchoreographed.
Scripted.
See, I think it's exactly what I said before. I think they're like, look how wacky she is.
She's going upstairs. Wow, good job.
So this is.
They literally
filmed?
said that. They literally said, going up the stairs.
This is like from them filming, not just in between.
Yeah.
Shots.
Who's surprised by gay stuff in 2023?
the Steadicam was moving with them, so they were filming there.
What if she just did that and it wasn't scripted, and then the extra is gonna come out with a press release and be like, I was assaulted by Lady Gaga.
No, where's the press release that like Lady Gaga, this straight woman who's engaged to a man, is co-opting gay culture to become a viral social media sensation?
Lady Gaga is higher on the oppression scale because Lady Gaga is a cultural icon.
Well, she's a cultural icon to gays. Like
Yes.
But that does not make her gay.
I don't know why.
Well, neither is Harry Styles, or at least he doesn't explain.
But people
whether
do
he's
get mad at him for co-opting.
Yep. Look, and then they have these photos. So this was a big part of it too. They've got the photos of her.
She looks good. I like the outfit.
Yeah, me too.
The outfit is spot on. But to me, this is just one of those things. Why are they not mad? Why are they suddenly... Is it because of Lady Gaga? Is it because the first one did well? Or is it just because now they understand that there's money behind it and there's money to be made in supporting it? You'd think they'd want to be like, look, we were wrong the first time, but I'm going to guess again and say there's going to be an incel uprising this time.
It's just kind of annoying because young men liked the first Joker movie, and now they're like... in the sequel, here's how we're gonna make it appeal to the girls and the gays. Like,
I thought it was so overrated, that movie. Like
I mean, it wasn't that great of a movie. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
That actually is the highest praise you can get from this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Very liking something.
I didn't think it was a masterpiece. I just thought, like, you know, it was fine.
No, people were like, I felt moved. I felt seen. I was like, what the hell?
Does anybody know what that actually means?
I mean,
feeling seen.
I think maybe what it means is that, like, a lot of young men feel like they're invisible these days, and that's just part of the experience of being male. And this movie made disaffected, disillusioned young men feel like, you know, they could relate to a character.
Doesn't even matter. My dad went to see this movie because the press was so up in arms about this. He's like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, what's all the hype about? Like, you're literally playing into their hands.
Also, it's funny if you're saying, like, the base was incels, like young men.
That wasn't
not
the
all
base.
incels.
This was.
But they're saying, like, it was largely popular with young men, and that was one of the reasons that it was so successful. Like, young men went to the theaters to see it. Like, why wouldn't you pick something that would appeal to them? Like, why isolate your base, right? Like, I get that you can't control what the media says about you unless you give in to them.
Oh,
but
we've got one from T-Bone.
Go for it.
He said, unpopular opinion, I gave the Joker movie a 1 out of 10. It's not a Joker movie. It's about mental illness in today's age. It shows how horrific the world and people can be when you have problems. Not excited for Joker 2. Won't watch.
Yeah, Todd Phillips actually said in an interview that he basically just said, let's write a movie and then just call it Joker. Which is what they did. It's
but that's why it did well, you know.
That's like they actually should be doing that on more cases. They've proven time and time again they don't know how to adapt the endless amount of good comic book stories that they have. They should be focusing on making one good movie once in a while, like make one good movie and then find a way to make it work, right? And they don't seem to be able to do that these days. And stop, for the love of God, trying to connect everything to a cinematic universe. It doesn't need to be this. It doesn't need to be this at all.
I like how it looks as Harley Quinn. That's all I
Really?
really care
Yeah,
about.
no,
is
the look
outfit.
of it's good, but it just feels like maybe this is why, like, attention spans are so short now. I haven't actually seen a lot of people talking about the fact that it was extremely hypocritical for the media, who seems to be all behind this now, to just pretend like they didn't try to prod the public into something violent.
I guess I haven't seen the overwhelming behind this the way you're saying it. Like, maybe because you're in the sphere and you
They're
read
talking
more
about
of this.
it at all without even acknowledging what they tried to do beforehand. To me, is shifty.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think most people won't draw the connection, right?
Or they'll be
like, they'll feel like,
yeah.
and I feel like they were trying to do this, right? Isn't it a musical or something? Like,
Yes.
they're trying to make this a whole new movie, and I think so many people will feel that way, that even though there's theoretically some connection between the two, it's as if they were different movies entirely, that therefore not drawing the parallel, which you're right, they should hold themselves accountable. Not drawing it will seem justified on some sense.
The fact that it's a musical is so jarring to me.
It's so weird.
Because again, as you said, like, the marketing is for like single men or whatever, like incel types. Now, when you hear someone like break out into song, you gotta fear for your life.
My goal, or what I believe is going to happen, is that they're going to use the music as a trigger. So every time they start singing a bunch of violence, it's going to be happening on screen. So I think they're going to be performing musical score while killing
So
people.
it like appeals to no one, right?
The thing
Isn't
is-
that charming?
Or a very, very
I
niche group.
I don't get how this appeals to the audience that loved the first one, like, at all.
At all, yeah.
But I think
It's completely different genre, and honestly, it seems like most of the eyes are on Lady Gaga, not Joaquin Phoenix anymore.
But that's on purpose, right? Like, they're
No,
trying
that's
to
actually a
sever
good
the
point.
connection.
Like, okay, that's a good point, right? So he was clearly the focus of the first one, and all of the press is on her now.
Yes.
Either because,
and I'm sure he has no problem with that, being the well-behaved male feminist he is.
Yeah, well, yeah, and like
He's one of the worst.
Well, also, like, it just takes the onus off him to have to constantly be in the news and the press for something like this. So maybe that makes it easier, and maybe that's another reason why they'll go easy on this movie in the lead up to it, because the sad thing is, if they wanted this movie to make more money, they'd just go back and do what they did the first time, which is be hyperbolic and over the top and pretend like it was going to be something that it's not.
Is he from like the Chris Pine school of male feminists?
He's worse.
Like, please cock me more.
Way worse.
He's worse than that.
Like every opportunity he gets at public speaking is talking about climate change, talking about racism, systematic oppression, etc. Drama alert.
Yeah.
Said thanks for the CC coverage.
The Creator Clash coverage.
Creator Clash coverage. Froggy Fresh needs justice.
Look,
it doesn't sound like he did anything wrong.
A lot of people from the videos that I watched covering this, all of them seem to be on the page that like Froggy Fresh is the one that's getting screwed in this case because he did nothing wrong. He did a little bit of trash talking.
He was trying to put more money in iDubbbz's pocket.
And then there was also that story that some creator, and his name actually escapes me now, said if they brought back Froggy Fresh, they would donate $100,000 to a charity. And apparently they decided that wasn't enough.
Right.
I don't remember that YouTuber's name, or that person's name, but they said that they would donate $100,000 to bring him back. And these people bring in money, so it's sad.
Yeah, they would rather deprive some charity of $100,000 than give the price of a hamburger for his girlfriend's OnlyFans.
Dude, I bet if
Maybe in this
Sam Hyde did a charity thing incentive to fight what's this guy's name, Hassan Piker, he would get millions. I'm talking like 10 million.
Dude, maybe in this version of the Joker, Harley Quinn has both her psychology practice and she's an OnlyFans girl on the side. So she spends part of her time at Arkham, and then she spends the rest of her time at home with a ring light making OnlyFans content.
If you wanted to make a spin-off that's about Harley Quinn in an Elseworld story, then why don't you just call it that and not call it
Drama
Joker
Alert
2?
It says official. I mean, it's got the check mark in there.
Damn.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Is it? I don't think it is.
Well, it's got the check. He responded right there. He's in the chat, and it's got the check next to the name. So I don't know. Yep. Big call. Look, do you have any interest in this movie? Like after the first one, I didn't think it needed a sequel. Like Hannah Claire will be shocked to hear this. The first one made tons of money. I didn't think it needed a sequel.
I knew you would come around to your senses eventually.
What you always say, Brett, is it's not a question of whether it needs a sequel.
It's that can the studio make money off of it? Therefore, it will.
Yeah. I mean, it's like kind of giving me the same vibes as Emma Stone as Cruella DeVille. Like,
oh my God, yes.
Cringy. It's just cringing
she was too
me out
young.
a little. What?
Emma Stone is Cruella.
Oh yeah.
Emma Stone as Cruella DeVille was just too young.
Yeah,
like it's like
just the girl bossification of
Disney's like, we're too scared to hire someone
Disney
old,
characters.
and Angelina, they'll hire one old lady, Angelina Jolie, and she's already done Maleficent, so they're like, we can't have her double dipping.
Oh, right.
Who else does Disney hire that's old? Do they hire anybody else that's old? I can't think of any off the top of
in
my head.
Marvel, yeah.
No, I'm saying in Disney, because Cruella was from 101 Dalmatians, which is not a Marvel thing. I'm saying, does Disney hire a lot of old actors in general these days? It feels like they've aged down most of the stuff anyways.
I'm sure they asked Meryl Streep, as everyone does.
Yeah. Probably. I remember like
Mirren, maybe. Has she do anything?
We like they were like somebody was watching Cruella here, and I walked by for 5 minutes, and I'm just like, I can't.
Yeah.
No.
I saw a lot of people
the CGI dogs on the
hating
cliff, and I'm just like, I'm out of here. I'm not doing this. You're not getting my money. It's not happening. So. Glenn Close was the original Cruella DeVille, right? I believe.
don't remember.
But I don't know if they hire a lot of old actors.
They said she's also too cute to be Cruella, and that's true.
Yeah.
That's true as well.
Emma Stone.
Well, I was saying I'm talking like Disney outside of Marvel. Marvel's been hiring older actors now as well, but I was thinking just who do they hire? Oh, they're saying Meryl Streep from Mephisto. Look, I don't know. Dane loves Meryl Streep. It's Dane's favorite.
I hate her.
Dane loves Meryl Streep.
No.
Tell everyone how much you love Meryl Streep.
Not even in jest.
Not even. Wow, he won't even kid about
When is
something.
Meryl Streep?
I'll joke about everything
MCU?
except that.
Yeah. Look, I don't think that there's any reason for this movie to be made, but I also am annoyed that they're pretending like the media just gets to be like, whoops, oh, we didn't do anything wrong. Because that's what they do every time something like this happens. They make a prediction, and then when it doesn't happen, they then get to pretend like they didn't spend all that time either hoping something was going to go wrong, which they do, which they love, And if Disney wanted, if Warner Brothers wanted to do the smart thing here, they would like tell the media to start writing those articles again, because that would get people whipped back up into a frenzy. But we probably shouldn't even be putting ideas into their head.
They're like, oh, sorry, did we ruin the fabric of society?
Yeah,
our bad. Ooh.
They're looking at their options for marketing, and they already checked off incitements of violence, and now they're on the queer baiting arc.
Yep, we'll see.
I like that this guy chat. Meryl Streep is a pineapple on pizza equivalent actress for Dane. Absolutely. That's as good
Meaning
as a
you
metaphor.
just have an irrational hatred.
Irrational.
Okay, sorry.
All right, Mary, we got some super chats there.
Unknown said, when I was a young boy, my father took me into the city to see a marching band.
Did he?
He said something.
I wonder why you said that.
Oh, God.
Thank you. I hate this sound. I'm not going to lie.
By the way,
This
tomorrow
one
you
sucks.
sit here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Whoever's day it is sits in that chair. I get you.
I can short.
God!
Snooze. If anybody hasn't seen The Mask, they should go see The Mask. Rent The Mask.
I didn't know that this movie was eventually, like 30 years later, going to be weaponized against me.
Dane's like, it was so innocent when I was a kid. Now it's just a weapon of mass destruction for Brett to ruin my day with.
Yeah, when I was 4, I was like, oh, Jim Carrey, funny. Cameron Diaz, pretty. And now it's...
She was
like,
smoking hot in that movie.
She's okay. And now it's like torture.
Oh my gosh.
Did he just... Everyone in this chat knows how incredible that scene was where she walks into the bank after the rainstorm. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
No, she's no Brie Olsen.
Oh, that's your question tomorrow.
You mean Brie Larson. Again, Brie Olsen is a porn star. Brie Larson.
You always confuse
Maybe
them.
Dane knows what he... But dude, make that your poll question tomorrow. Cameron Diaz v... whichever Brie Dane likes.
Brie Larson.
Okay, yeah, Larson.
I swear to God, I don't even know what Brie Olsen is. And I want to Google her, but I can't do it on the company Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Wyatt Kaldenberg said in 1921, famed Hollywood star Fatty Arbuckle was charged with a R-word and murder of Virginia Rapp.
Yep.
The only thing that happened to him is he changed his name to Will Be Good and became a director.
Yep.
You remember that?
Oh, yeah. This is a popular case that comes up with like true crime podcasts.
Yeah.
So I heard about it a long time ago. She was like a young starlet, and it was really brutal, and nothing happened to him.
Figures. Typical Hollywood.
Corey Anderson said, I've been in the Navy for 18 years. It is difficult but worth it. I have free medical, education, housing, and will have a pension.
Amazing.
Bobcat said, HCB, very nice look today. As for the military, we're called the world's largest family business for a reason.
Yep, all right.
Cardio Bro said, both my partners were in the military and pushed me from it, but the alpha male tier 1 operator fraternity has always attracted me, especially on IG.
I like NPR Mary.
Am I being NPR
Welcome to
Mary?
today's episode of Pop Culture Crisis.
I'm just kind of like talking normally.
Allow me to read super chats.
Emotionally detached from...
Yeah. Corey Anderson said, hot chicks talk about things that interest ladies so men can learn something.
Actually, I feel like it's not
Who
a terrible
cares?
idea.
In the worst possible idea.
Dane is like, who cares?
No,
Dude's rule.
there was something... I don't know if it's just you and me on, but
Dude's rule cast.
we had a conversation recently where it was like, oh no, you should hear the perspective on this. So then when you go on a date with a girl, you can be like, so how do you feel about this issue? And then she'll feel like you're interested in her world, and that will make her like you more. So I think there's a place for this kind of content.
Okay, how about this, guys? We make hot chicks talking, but it's audio only.
Oh, so you're not shallow.
So do you guys have to, if you guys want to prove that you care about what women think, it's audio only.
Prove that you truly support women.
Also, I feel like then you're asking them to trust you that you think the women involved are hot. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's hot subjective. And if we make it audio only, it's like, trust our company.
Is hot subjective?
I
think we just had this conversation about Cameron Diaz, right? You think no, he thinks
I'm
yes.
just saying that to mess with Brad. She's very good looking.
Okay.
In that
so
movie.
you admit it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Brie Larson in 21 Jump Street, she used to be such a pleasant looking young lass.
Before the feminism.
Before it had the context of how annoying she is.
Guys, do you know how many beautiful women are annoying as hell? Like, you have no concept.
I would argue too that there are beautiful conservative women who are also annoying.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
I mean,
I'm gonna
doesn't
have to.
protect you from
I'm
being
gonna need
annoying.
some names.
It's not even Brie Larson's political views that are annoying. It's just her personality.
Yeah, she wouldn't have to say anything like about politics. All she has to say is, "I don't care what a 40-year-old white dude has to say about a wrinkle in time. It's not made for him." That's not politics. That's just social issues
Well, it's also like,
and stupidity.
what did she say? I'm gonna be the first Brie Larson of.
Oh yeah.
What did she say? Like, I'm gonna be the first
I don't want to
me.
be the. I don't want to be the first Tom Cruise, or the second Tom Cruise. I want to be the first Brie Larson or something like that.
do you guys think like Brie Larson watches this podcast and she's like, that kid's all right?
If she watches it, she should come on the podcast and defend herself.
Look,
Yeah,
I
say your
actually do.
piece.
Like, I've actually turned around on your thoughts. She takes very good care of herself. I
She's
think
good looking.
She's a.
No one is saying she's not good.
No, wait. People were saying that she's not good looking.
All I'm saying is that being an annoying person does make you less attractive.
Fair, which is fair. But my thing is, I hate when people call chicks ugly just because they think they're annoying. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is good looking and annoying.
Yeah, I think people conflate like that's the thing. Like
I don't like
you
that.
can be good looking and be annoying, and you can be so annoying that it doesn't that how good looking you are doesn't make up for it, right? But you could be somewhat annoying and very good looking, and
Right.
people will be like, "Bah, you're fine because you're pretty good looking."
They should
You know
say
what I
that.
mean?
Let's do one more and then we'll move on.
It's just Corn Pop sending an emoji.
Okay,
again.
one more. Wherever.
And then Big Bird's also sending a sticker.
And then one from Wayward Soul.
Wayward Soul said, AJ's Chill Force pills legit cured my anxiety.
Oh, Alex Jones's Chill Force pills. I
Chill
can't-
Force?
is that a real thing?
Hey, man.
They just replaced the market for SSRIs, straight up.
All right, guys, we're moving on. So, have you ever gotten home from a day at work and you wanted to spend some time watching Amouranth content, but your family was home with you and you needed to have them around?
This is oddly specific. Brett.
Yes.
Have you lived this life, Brett?
Well, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Amouranth announces that she will be making family-friendly
Finally.
OnlyFans content. Finally. It says Amouranth has made a fortune off OnlyFans in her time on the
She
platform.
said she made
earning
$40 million
$1.1
last year.
Must be
Damn.
nice. The taxes on that must be insane.
So she said 1.5 mil a month.
A month. Yep.
But it's not that. She has more than that from like brand deals
Yep.
and extra stuff.
Dude, when she did
$40
that,
million last year.
when fledgling G4 TV tried to like come back from the Frost debacle, and they had Amouranth in a ball pit for like 5 minutes, they gave her
Like, no,
30
guys, we were
grand
just
for
kidding.
that.
We still have hot chicks.
Yeah.
We still objectify women. It's okay.
Look at her titties. Like that's great, fantastic.
No,
Like,
too late.
They paid her 30 grand for that appearance.
Babe.
It's like the emergency acts that you like break the glass and you pull out the Amouranth
the
titty
ephod.
streams.
They're like, we'll build you a hot tub wherever you want it. We
Yeah.
promise. We'll give you a microphone to lick.
And
we don't care.
Yeah, she's like known for licking ear-shaped microphones for ASMR streams. None of her content is what I would consider family friendly.
Until now.
Until now. So she said in this interview with Essentially Sports, I've been working on some other projects with OnlyFans. They want me to make videos for their production, OnlyFans TV, OFTV. It's like YouTube, a safer version.
Dude.
I don't know if she means a safer version of OnlyFans or of YouTube.
It's funnier if she's actually throwing shade at YouTube there. She's like, look, it's
Yeah.
way better than YouTube.
But I took a look at the website for OnlyFans TV, and it's not looking 100%
Safe.
family friendly or safe for work to me. The first thing I see on the homepage
She's on the public Wi-Fi too, ladies and
is
gentlemen.
chicks
Legend.
in bikinis hula hooping. So I'm
mean,
not
fun
sure
for the
this
whole
is,
family.
You know,
Who doesn't love to hula hoop?
fun for the whole family.
Yeah. Look, like who doesn't love to hula hoop?
You know, have fun, you know, hula hoop in a bikini if you want, but don't call it family friendly, I guess. Like, I don't think that that's...
I mean, maybe not for grandma because her her new hip can't really take a hula
Grandma's
hoop.
just
but
jealous. I'm telling you right now. Grandma's just jealous.
It's like a workout video, but they're not teaching you how to do anything.
Maybe maybe what she's doing, that whole thing with her and her boyfriend, where like the phone call. Maybe she was actually
Her husband.
Her husband. Maybe that was actually an acting demo that she was doing.
Are they still together?
They're still together.
Whatever happened with that?
Like,
that was so
Or it's
fake.
like I checked.
That was
They're
such a
still
blip on the
together.
radar. Like, she's still with him?
she's like, whoops, just kidding.
Like,
I was joking.
I thought, it would have spurred on her simps to, help her divorce legal fund.
You would think, right?
But I also, she has this show somewhat recently that she unveiled. It's called Pimp My Simp.
What?
This is a real thing. Where they can like enter a sweepstakes for, or no, I think they like enter applications and like compete to get a cash prize. They get flown out. They are given like a makeover, and they go on an IRL streamed date with her.
I have to stop. Like
Real, like that actually is like something that people would do. And they don't find it humiliating at all.
Maybe this is just a personality type, but I would never, not even in this context, in the context of like you win a sweepstakes to go and meet your favorite movie star and go to a premiere of one of their movies with them. I would never want to do that. Sounds like the most awkward.
But someone does, right? That was like a thing for a while.
Guys, everyone do an entry for Brett.
No,
I just feel like this is weirder because it's like going on a date like with a married woman who also is on OnlyFans. Like, what do you
like? Do you think
family
she's
friendly,
interested
though.
in a future with you?
What fantasy are you playing out? Like that she's suddenly gonna fall in love with you and like leave it all behind, and then are you okay with her staying on OnlyFans? Because that seems like a requirement for her.
I can ruin families.
I mean,
totally right myself.
I do like that she has exemplified the art of like you can really make money at anything if you try hard enough, right?
Yep.
She has no problem making money right now, and that's honestly kind of fascinating. I watched this video. It was like a clip of some podcast where these girls were reading a Reddit thing, and someone was saying like, I just found out my husband is $17,000 in debt, and she's saying I thought it was this new car that we purchased, but it turns out that's how much money he's spending on OnlyFans.
What?
And
how is that even possible?
Yeah, she said that like they're married, but they keep finances somewhat separate. They applied for a car loan.
That's why he's like, let's keep our
They
finances
applied for
a
a
little
car
bit
loan
separate.
under his name, and it turns out he just wasn't paying it. He was using that money to just spend on OnlyFans.
Damn.
And so that's
What a
pretty
freak.
His
crazy.
penis is basically sandpaper by this point. Like what the?
yeah.
His dopamine receptors just fried.
Just
Almost non-existent.
He gets up, his kids like go, hi daddy, and he just goes, meh.
No, you want to hear the justification? She like confronted him about it, and she was like, why are you doing this? Because like that's a crazy ton of money, especially when you're supposed to be spending it on the car or whatever. And he was like, I like feeling like I have some kind of control over women, which I just like my
Wow.
I'm just picturing like
Just like
nothing
it's the
brings him-
request videos. That's what it is.
very, very strange.
Dude.
It's a lot to unpack there.
So much to unpack. So with this girl, like, why would you put yourself in a position where you meet someone in real life? You know what I mean? Like, they're gonna have to go. I get like it's at a studio or whatever, but then this person always knows where that studio is. They're coming to your city. Like, to me,
They
it
would
seems
probably set up something
bizarre.
off-site.
Yeah,
Like-
it says like they win a cash prize, but they go on a solo trip that's probably out of the way for both of them, and they get
Still
like
solo,
other
right?
prizes.
He gets to pick her up,
But
so
you
it
just
feels
need
like more
to-
like a real date.
You need to like fill out a Google form that also includes like how you would rate yourself on a 1 to 10 scale and all of this other information about
So
you.
what? She can take like a guy who's like, I rate myself a 1. I'm super depressed, and then seem like a hero.
It's
for,
literally
like,
a humiliation ritual.
It seems so crazy. Also, get his fingerprints.
Pimp
and
my
also, like, make sure wherever you're going, there's actually security there. Like, this seems like she's making. How could she possibly make enough money on this? Like, separate from OnlyFans, I'm not a fan. Whatever. Separate from that, why would you put yourself in this position? You cannot make enough money to justify meeting a stranger from the internet, especially when this is your career.
I
This is
love
how
it.
they sell it. One lucky viewer will win a huge cash prize and the chance to get flown in and given a makeover and grooming help, plus
Grooming
hotel and streamed IRL date. All expenses paid.
She's streaming it because she
lucky.
needs
I
witnesses.
love
Yeah,
the,
that's my thing. At least it's streamed. That's the only way to make it safe, which is crazy.
I love the assumption that they're not going to be good looking enough that they don't need help.
But they're gonna pick someone. They're like, submit photos, and if you're really ugly, you'll win. Which is
That's
like,
the point. That's why other people want to watch, to make fun of the poor guy. But it's like, I guess you literally signed up for it.
What if they turn him into a legend? and he can join in on the family-friendly content.
Dude, that's okay. Like, but like, is there like a part of the parasocial relationship here, like that can't feel safe afterwards?
Oh,
like,
no.
if you're paying that much.
The rate yourself. I'm looking at the Google form right now. The rate yourself from 1 to 10 scale starts at wizard and ends at Giga Chat.
Wizard
doesn't seem like a bad thing, but maybe I'm not nuanced enough on the internet.
Wait, wizard is a number, is a 1 and 10 is a Chad?
Giga Chat,
Is
not
it
just a
Giga
Chad.
So is a Chad a 9 or is a Chad
Maybe an 8? I don't know.
And then is there like a 2? Is there like a 2 point?
Brett, why don't you just enter and you'll find out?
Oh yeah.
I can send you the link.
Okay, let's go.
Brett's gonna be like, okay, so
Let's fill out the form right
just
now.
for research purposes. Oh my gosh, if we live fill out the form, that would be really
Let's
funny.
do it.
I'm not doing that.
Why,
No.
Brett?
Yeah.
Can't we just enter a fake
You
person?
can use my
Doing
name.
that.
Like, what if we enter a fake person right now? live on air?
Hypothetical person.
Yeah.
Called
You also have to answer the question.
Dret
Why
Basovic.
do you think you would be interesting to watch? It's a very interesting way to word
What
it.
if you responded? I find this whole concept horrifying, and I feel like I should tell her to get off OnlyFans. Like, do you think they'd pick you?
No.
See her debate live on a date about
Bryson's
OnlyFans?
Folly in the chat
It's like, I
says
can
wizards
save
are
you.
incels for a minimum of 10 years.
Oh, okay. See, I knew this
Oh.
was an internet term.
I see.
Okay.
The terminally online simps would know what it means.
I'm
We
just thinking
wouldn't.
like Harry Potter. Like, he gets a girl in the end. That seems fine.
Just imagine how much better off society would be if OnlyFans did go through with it when they originally announced they were going to make their platform 100% safe for work content. They never went through with it, obviously, but now they're making this maneuver to OFTV, and I'm looking at it. There is a lot of like not safe for work content on it, but there are other videos that are like yoga and cooking and like interviews and podcasts.
Thoughts can find any
home
way to
decor.
make any of those things
But like,
still
how much
thought about.
fashion.
Yeah, with like what kind of fashion? Like, what are we like looking at?
Is it like a
trying on lingerie?
yeah,
With the
skimpy
cooking,
try-on
They're just
haul?
wearing like an apron and then cook. Like, this feels like those weird like point of view videos where like girls are like pretending that you watch them and she like pretends to talk to you like you're her boyfriend or whatever.
I was watching. I told
Do you know
Dave
that like
about
genre that I'm
this.
talking about?
I posted.
Super weird
There's
stuff.
an amazing video on Instagram this weekend where this mom, she's like recording her daughter who's trying to record a TikTok pretending to cook and clean. And she's like, girl's never cooked or cleaned a thing a day in her life. And the girl legitimately doesn't look like she knows what she's doing, trying to use the rag.
That's kind of on her mom though, right?
No, that's what, like, everyone in the comments is like, that's not the flex you think it is. Like, just means you didn't raise your kid to be able to do anything.
Also that she's willing to do kind of traditional things for affirmation from the internet.
But not for,
like, that's sad.
Not to keep the house clean. But
Not out of a sense of responsibility and ownership or pride of your space. It's out of getting attention online. Like,
maybe they can have like OnlyFans gym content, and then we can send all the same thoughts who have to take videos at the gym to one gym. That way they're all kind of in one place.
All the camera angles are in the way.
Yeah, like everyone's like blocking someone else's shot with their camera. They're like, it ruins the illusion if your iPhone is in the shot with my iPhone.
It's all, excuse me, excuse me.
what if there are gyms that start advertising like this has fantastic lighting? We have built-in places
Well, they
to
do.
put your camera in.
They talk
Comes
about
with
that.
tripod.
Like top-down lighting is done specifically to accentuate certain parts of the body. I love the idea that that's how they're like, oh, and we've got fantastic lighting and a wider space for camera angles. Oh, and the equipment's not too bad either.
I mean, if you think of like, I'm not going to say that they're for women only, but like more boutique studio, like if you go to like a Pilates place or yoga studio or that kind of stuff, like aesthetic is built into it, and it's to attract women who are like, oh, it's so cute to be here, I like being here, which I don't think is bad in terms of business angle, but then it becomes like also so you'll post this on social media and promote it. Like, that would be the best thing for a gym to do, to be like, we'll win new customers by making it easy for women to record themselves here.
Dude, what sucks about that is that a lot of gyms, I say gyms are mostly a lot of them are marketed towards women. So a lot of times I go to a gym and I'm just incessantly hearing like, who runs the world, girls? And I'm like, oh my God.
The girl boss tunes playing.
Non-stop.
Yeah.
Just, it's a playlist. You get Destiny's Child and Destiny's Child and Destiny's Child, and that's it.
Basically.
Yeah. And
I think not only do we need gyms with no phones allowed, but also like bars and restaurants, no phones allowed.
like, oh, there
really
was
improve society.
There was an amazing picture. It's like somebody snapped a picture from across a restaurant where it's like 5 women all taking pictures of their food at the same table. And they've all like stood up and like backed up to take the photo. And it's like the world we live in now.
I used to feel similarly. There are times when I think being on your phone is fine. Like, I worked with a bunch of guys in construction, and one of them told me the story that like they were at a diner at like 5 a.m. or whatever. They had done an overnight job. And so they're getting like breakfast, or like it's breakfast food, but it's their dinner. And someone like kind of made this comment to them because all of them were on their phones, like doing whatever, checking Instagram and being like, oh, it's your generation. And he was like, your generation sat here and read books and newspapers. Like, we're essentially doing the same thing. Like, this is actually not that uncommon to have meals where you're not explicitly talking the whole time. Like, we're just eating so we have food so we can go home and go to sleep. I think there's a relationship between where your phone is appropriate or not. What I think becomes a problem is so many people are so socially anxious that they can't be away from their phone, right? It's different when you feel like you can't carry on a conversation, so you just like fall into your phone, versus like I am actively using my phone to read a news article and we're not having a moment where we're expected to be social.
I completely relate. And my issue in particular is that career-wise, I need my phone so much. Yeah. And I'm so dependent of alarms. Like, I've annoyed every single person in this company with all my alarms. I mean, famously, birth control time.
That you're saying that's not your birth control alarm?
It is. It's a, multifaceted alarm. But I just can't let go of the thing.
Yeah.
I used to feel that way with like breaking news. Like you want to be able to check things as soon as they're happening. But there are times in your life that I'm sure that you say like, I'm specifically not going to take my phone out. I'm not going to be on my phone while I'm interacting with this person. I think you have to have the discipline to do that. And more people forget that. Like, no one's going to tell you put your phone away. They're just going to think you're being rude.
Yeah. Who here do you think is the best at like staying off? I think Mary's the best at not using her phone incessantly. Probably.
I hope so.
You're very good about like she'll go downstairs like for like 20-30 minutes and not bring her phone and just fine. Like
vibe.
Mine is because like my headphones are always in, so my phone is always with me because like literally if my phone got stolen I would know right away because the headphone would disconnect once it got far enough away.
Every time I try to leave my phone, I hear from a distance like a and then Brett's like, hey, I turned your phone off.
Yeah, like he would leave it up here, and then of course the alarm would go off. I'm like, this thing doesn't just run out; it just keeps going forever. So I have to like hit the button, and then you feel awkward touching someone else's phone at all. So you're like, I don't want to.
You like have to report it immediately.
Like yeah, I'm like, I touched your phone, but I was like, I literally like I went like this, and I used one finger and I touched it like that. Yeah,
I have my phone on me most of the time during the work week. I like try my best when I'm talking to someone to not have it, but if it's for work, I'm pretty dedicated to answering it. It's when I'm home, right? Like when you're home, like I try to never like get on my phone and scroll, right? Try to be productive and away from the screen.
I'm bad at it.
You have to be.
I admit that I'm like, I get caught in doom scrolling quite a bit. And I try, usually that's actually the number one sign for me to like get up and go out and skate. Like if I catch myself doom scrolling,
it's time to do something else.
Go get physical activity.
Yeah, I think that's true. I feel like during the week it's hard. Like you're saying, things are dependent on you, or like for me, like if someone sends me a question that I need to respond to, otherwise I'm holding up their workflow. Then like in some ways, it's very different than just being like I'm randomly always checking my phone. Unfortunately, like in our industries, there's a lot of interpersonal communication that if you decide I'm going to put my phone away for 2 hours, like you're potentially making it very difficult for someone else to get their job done.
For me, it's impossible.
Well, if without your phone, how are you going to know whether you won a chance to take Amouranth on a date, I ask you?
I'm telling you, we should fill out this application live on air right now.
I actually want to know what, if you could imagine, who are the people in today's world, like in modernity, who's like, you know what? I trust OnlyFans to make content for that's suitable for my kids to watch. Who's the parent that's actually putting that on?
I mean, whoever's doing Drag Queen Story Hour, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think it's that same line of like, it's not that it's family friendly, it's right on the edge of being acceptable, right? Like it's subjective enough where parents will be like, well, they're not old enough to understand the context, so it's okay. But really, it's not okay to show it to them. Drag queens are supposed to be this like benign introduction to gender fluidity, whereas like a lot of people be like, actually it's not. You should look at the roots of drag culture and you'll understand that this is an inappropriate use of drag, even if they're not particularly dry rating. They literally are reading a story to your kid. You know what I mean? Like I think people think you can leave the nuance behind when you can't, and you should just have firmer boundaries between like what you do privately in your own room when your kids are not around versus content you show in the home.
I think we're absolutely in a post nuance and fact society. Like it's like people, when you tell people something that's factual, they look at you like, what are you even doing right now?
What?
Well, no, I think a lot of it is that people like with information being the way it is now, people, I just assume I'm being like a lot of times I assume I'm being lied to or misled by a lot of, depending on where you're getting your information from. I assume that it's being manipulated in some way to get one over on me. And I think at the very least that might not be healthy, but it's healthy to try and at least approach everything you hear, especially on the internet, with a healthy dose of skepticism.
And you know who's Ian's really good about that because some people this weekend they were sharing some video and they were giving in some conservative bro tint. Yeah. And then Ian like showed the full video and contextualized it. Was like, no, this is actually what's happening.
Yeah,
you know?
I've actually got this video to show you guys. Because we're talking about cell phones. This is one that I saw over the weekend. Refresh. Can you see it?
Witnessed atrocities previously reserved for the eyes of war veterans, all thanks to the existential crisis rectangle. Now I sleep for 2 to 4 hours a night due to the incessant deafening chatter in my mind. And you can too, with the help of the existential crisis rectangle. The existential crisis rectangle includes historically unprecedented narcissism, mind-melting algorithms, and even the complete erosion of the moral fabric of society. So don't wait. Rush out and grab your own existential crisis rectangle today. Loss of virginity sold separately.
Whoa. I wanna follow up that's like one of those late night shopping networks where she's like, it's just great and it comes in all these colors.
Exactly. All right, guys, we got some super chats there.
T-Bone asked HC, would you go on the whatever podcast?
Probably. I've never watched it before. I've seen clips of your episode, but I think it sounds fun.
Try to sit through a whole episode. I dare you.
Dude, you were 4 hours slugging it.
I would be fine sitting through something and like long podcasts I can listen to on a car ride. I just think that like I don't know that it's
No, dude, I put it on. I was like, it's time to support my friend. And then
you're like, never mind.
And then like 3 minutes in.
Dane
I'm going back.
Dane put it on, and I'm like, I'm not even
Abort
gonna try.
mission.
I'm like, I'll watch the clips when they go up.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel like it's interesting. I wonder if it is more fun depending on who you're on with, right? Like if you're going to be on a show for 4 hours.
I mean, all the girls kind
and
of seem like
everyone's-
the Borg, like the thought Borg.
Yeah, like if it's like you having one idea and then everyone else saying the same thing, it's like, are we debating enough? I'd like to see like a variety of viewpoints. It doesn't seem like they.
Where are the scholarly thoughts? I asked.
But I'd go on. If
There's no
fun.
intellectual version of that podcast. Trust
It's
me.
not even intellectual, just like more backgrounds. It seems like they pick like the same kind of girl over and over again, and like
Oh,
obviously
yeah.
you were different, but like, you know, I'd be curious to see like an episode where there's more than just like 5 of this girl and then 1 of this person. But I'd go on. It's just
Like the question they ask, they go into the streets and they go, "What year was the War of 1812?" And if they get it wrong, they're like, "You're welcome on this podcast."
or just like it seems like they pick a lot of social media influencers, and I'd be curious to pick like someone who's not as tied into social media. You know
They
what I mean?
do get some like normal people,
Some,
like
but
students.
not that often.
Never.
Like even a student is kind of removed from like working life. I mean, like I don't know.
I've never seen anyone on any clip of that show that could coherently form a sentence.
Do you think?
Besides the people that they bring to own
No,
them.
you're right. I
You know,
can't.
the format is the oof. Thank you, inner monologue.
Wait,
Pause
Just
it.
got yourself right
The
there.
format is the host, the person they bring on to pwn the ladies, and the ladies.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I'm not gonna say it.
Okay, I'll ask you after.
Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder said Joker is Howard Beale from Network and Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver. By the way, Dane, check your ears. I think there is a little blood dripping from them.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy to
BMF
help.
Nate Dog said, did anyone see the Cameron Diaz scene in The Counselor on the Ferrari?
Can I Google this?
I
don't
didn't see
think
the
so.
counselor. I know what he's
Pretty lit.
Yeah.
You see a thing like that, it changes you.
Okay.
Okay. Big Bird said, huh? Ankles?
Is there an ankle cam going on?
There are no ankle cams, and there never will be.
I don't believe there is. Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Ugh, feed people.
Corn Pop sent a sticker.
That says,
Noob.
Based.
X said, I think they mean you two talking, not others.
In relation to what?
What's this?
We're far back now,
Oops.
so sorry about that.
Clef the Misfit said, minus the date, there's no difference between what Amouranth is doing and the show Queer Eye.
I mean,
that's probably where they got the concept from, right?
Yeah, they're like it's like Queer Eye for the straight guy, but with titties.
It's more embarrassing though.
Yeah.
I like it.
Because it's like you're desperately hoping she'll like give you a chance like for a future relationship, but you know that's
Wasn't there
They
some
they can't be that stupid.
But
can
they could.
Yes, they
Oh,
are.
they can. Brad, are you kidding? What?
They could be and they are.
Someone spent $17,000 on this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
It gets very weird. My question is like, wasn't there an MTV show where you like got a makeover and tried to win back your ex or something?
I just
That sounds awful.
There's gotta be
Like
just
this
a whole
makeover
generation
concept.
of sociopathic producers of reality show hosts or producers who just love to humiliate people.
Yeah.
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 That's what reality TV is all about.
And
Also,
if you're
like-
an American, it's your birthright.
You can make
True.
someone like wear different clothes and cut their hair, but if their personality is, lacks self-confidence and generally is unpleasant, then like it's not gonna make a difference, right?
Yep.
I mean, in the accept me as who I am culture.
That's
I don't know
only
if
for
it
women.
matters.
You only have to accept women for who they are. Men need to do better.
Based.
Sorry.
I don't know. I think
better.
men say, accept me for who I am. I live with my mom. Like, come on, dude, get it together.
No, they complain.
Yeah.
They're
entitled people.
I know the
around.
type.
Those are. But I feel like the women's one is accepted by culture, and those men are derided for that viewpoint.
I mean, but they get mocked mercilessly.
Yeah, they get mocked too.
Yeah.
I also think what they are trying to say is your standards for us are ridiculous, and they should not be applied to us.
Women
whereas-
are not. You are not allowed to have any standards for women these days. You have to accept them exactly as they are, or you're a misogynist and you're trying to control them. If you have any standards, if you try to tell them that you'd like them to change anything about them, you're called controlling.
Guys, post this clip with the Sigma grind set music playing in the background.
Yeah.
We need this.
And then just try to go it off.
Next on Fresh and Fit.
Posted on masculinism. Okay, Shane H. Wilder said, Pimp My Simp and the OF thinking they can be family friendly. We officially crossed the Rubicon and I don't like it. P.S. The Machine by Blue Oyster Cult is a great song about cell phone addiction.
Okay, that's actually a really good. I didn't know that. I've never heard that song. Look, I think everyone could do with being like on their phone a little bit. Like it's best for me it's hardest for me on the weekends if I'm not working, right? Like if I'm not, that's why I go out and skate or do something. Or even in the mornings, what I've taken to doing is just turning my phone off for like a couple of hours where it's like a process to turn it back on. Because if I'm not up doing something, obviously if you're busy, you got stuff to do, you're not worried about it. But if you're just sitting around, like even if you're just cleaning or something around the house, you're still tempted to check it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And even if it's not necessarily the best thing in the world to say, like you should be able to do it without turning the phone off, I think the instinct to get away from it more is a good
I
thing.
think it's okay if you have to turn your phone off. I find myself, part of my morning routine is to check the news every morning, like basically as soon as I get up. And you have to hold yourself accountable to being like, I am being productive, like I'm checking for headlines, I'm doing work, versus like,
I'm never.
Then I
doing
checked my
anything
email,
like that.
and then I checked this app, and then I did this. You know what I mean? Like you can end up wasting a lot of time and not realizing it. But it is hard to. Again, I stress like the weekday, especially, it's hard to get away from being on the phone. Like even now, like there's all this stuff with the active shooter in Nashville. Like it's difficult for me to be completely out of touch with my job for hours on end.
Yeah.
And I don't even like using my phone. There have been days, Mary, like where like I have to come in late, right? So like we're like tossing articles back and forth, like what we could like talk about that day. Trying to like read material on your phone is just a hellscape. It's awful. So I don't even like doing that.
What's helped me be less terminally online? First off, my fiance, she advised me like when you're out of work, don't read news, and that has been a godsend for my spirit and my mental health. Like I can't I'll tell you like 65% if you could qualify an increase improvement. And the other one is that I follow a lot of cute animal accounts.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is why we need cute of the day, not just cringe of the day.
I mean, at least half of the accounts I follow on Instagram are just like curated animal content.
And you know, because I'm always sending you memes,
Yes.
and like half of them are edgy stuff, and the other half is like, look at this dog.
Yes.
And that makes me want to play with my dog.
Oh, also, if you not that this is a good thing, but there is no more toxic comment section than pet Instagrams where like everyone.
This is abusive.
This is every comment is. There was
Look at the way it's breathing. That's a sign of distress.
I watched.
I'm a turtle expert.
I watched. There was. Did you see the turtle one the other day where the turtle runs down like the dock? It's like a metal dock.
I didn't know turtles ran.
And it's like you'd think they couldn't, right? But it's like the dock, because it was sunny, must have been really hot, so it's like scuttles down the bottom of the deck really, really fast.
Aww.
But also like there was one where it's like two little itty bitty cats, and they're like in like a little eating container, in like a Tupperware container, and the person clearly does the thing where the top isn't on, but the top is like above them, so they can make it look like they're opening it, and there's like, oh look, two cute cats, isn't that adorable? All the comments are like, they can't breathe in there. You sociopath, they can't breathe in there. And I'm like, the top was clearly not on there.
Someone call PETA.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Dude.
Go follow cute. Oh
my god, dude,
cute animals.
There's
PETA
this
is gonna
account
like
called.
assemble a SWAT team to come to your house.
There's this account called Dodo or something, or the Dodo.
Oh, the dodo, yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
god, it's like rescuing animals,
Yeah,
and it has
super
that
cute.
song that makes Ian cry. I would cry 1,000 miles waiting for. And it's just like, this is Mr. Fluffykins.
That song should actually be called Ian's song.
Seriously.
Pulled off on the side of the road and cried my eyes
cried.
out.
Dude, but then I'm just seeing a dog be sad and then be happy, and I'm like, ugh.
The dog's transformations of like this dog was in a terrible situation, and then like here's a picture of it when it's like rescued and healthy. You're like, man,
Dude, that's
there's
40% of my social media intake.
yeah.
I'm like,
All of
what's gonna happen to it? It's always the same formula.
it's worked out. So my Twitter is very political, but my Instagram feed is not at all. I think it's because I had Instagram first for personal reasons, and so I just don't check the app when I'm not wanting to like check in on the insanity.
You know what's messed up? Every time I'm alone, my Instagram feed is animals and people getting mercilessly knocked out in the UFC. And whenever my
What a weird combo.
and whenever my girl like walks by, it's just some thought being like,
Yeah, it's always like that, right?
I'm like, why? Why now?
Mine. It's all like it's all
It's not rooting for you.
baseball highlights.
The opposite,
and
dude.
animals, and yeah, and then of course if anybody was coming by, it's like, why is there a hot girl on your?
Yeah,
I have no
stop
idea.
it.
That's a shocking turn of events. I tell you, shocking.
Stop.
I wonder if I can tell that you're like on the same network, like if you're home and sharing Wi-Fi or whatever, and it's like we're gonna mess up this relationship.
Basically.
All right, I think there's one more there.
Two more. Corn Pop sent a salt shaker emoji.
Oh, well, thank you. I think is that
Okay.
It's a salt shaker. Okay.
Rhaegar Targaryen said, imagine whatever the women's version of Sports Illustrated or like magazines are, but instead of Harry Styles, it's full of morbidly obese dudes.
Yum.
So
I mean, I wouldn't like to see Harry Styles or morbidly obese dudes.
can we find something else? There must be more.
Well, there are magazines of muscular dudes in swim trunks, but they're for gay men, not straight women.
Or
so
it's-
that
just
that already
think-
exists.
Do women
I
just
think-
buy copies of Men's Health?
Well, they made a like, is it called Playboy or something? Like,
Playgirl. Playgirl's a thing.
well, there's one for men, right? But like, or like
Playboy.
for women, but I think it's probably for gay men. But I think you're forgetting that like men are visually stimulated in a way that women are not so much.
Yeah.
And so it's unlikely to have that kind of.
Should we
same
just
thing.
write essays?
It's good for us, guys.
Leave long voicemails about your feelings.
Yeah.
Somebody like.
And he knew what I desired without me telling him.
He's
and he
communicating
picked
clearly while like
Yeah.
filling up your gas tank.
and he picked the place to eat that I didn't want to say, but I desired.
It's what was like?
Look at them
He
swooning.
asked me how my best friend was
swooning.
doing.
Like somebody was like, he's like the life hack for the eating problem in a relationship. He goes, guess where we're going out to dinner tonight, and he makes her guess, and whatever she guesses, he goes, yes, that's where we're going.
Yeah, I told you guys that's the move.
Yeah,
It's like,
he's like, yeah,
yep,
that's
got
where
it.
we're going. All right,
We
guys.
also have a hamburger
Oh.
emoji from Corn Pop if it matters.
Thank you.
That
It
was
does
the
matter.
last
Thank
one.
you.
All right, guys, before we go, could you like this video? Could you subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? Thank you so much for doing that. Also, leave a comment on this video and hit the like button, hit the notification bell so that you can get notified anytime one of these streams goes live. Share the video with your friends. Get it out there for more people to come hang out with us so they can. Dane, my friend, let everyone know where they can find you.
Hello, everyone. You can help me defeat my ongoing battle with irrelevancy by following me at Twitter at Dane Font. And now, I shall spell that out for you. DANEFONT.
All right. Hannah Claire, where can they find you?
You can find me on timcast.com. Click on the read tab, and you can see my work there. You can see work from Chris Burtman and some other people who come on the show. You should follow at Timcast News on Twitter and Instagram. It's the best. If you want to follow me personally, you can follow me on Twitter at HCBrimolo, and you can follow me on Instagram at hannahclaire.b. My big update is that the copycat account has moved on to another victim. Instagram did not. Yeah, I got a notification yesterday being like, we closed your complaint, but it's because the account has now changed its name, taken down all the pictures, and is copying someone else. So Instagram did not fix the problem.
Who's
completely.
the new victim?
Someone I don't know. I can find it. I immediately found her because the new account has like 2 underscores, and if you take away one, that's the original. I am like debating whether I should message her and be like, just so you know. Maybe. I feel like I should. I also think Instagram
women helping women.
Instagram should take this account down. Like, this is the cycle. Like, I wonder how many before me this happened to. So I am no longer the victim of a crypto scheme, but someone else is. So Instagram, maybe get it together.
So it's good, but it's kind of bad.
So at least it wasn't a personal vendetta.
Right. I feel weird about it because it's like I feel relieved, but also nothing changed for the problem on the platform.
I do love that Instagram's basically just doesn't care.
Well, after my brother texted me and was like, by the way, your account changed, because it messaged him and was like, hey man, like, let me tell you about my new crypto scheme, which like my brother and I see each other regularly. Like, he would know if I was working in
crypto. You had a crypto scheme?
But they really misread the whole thing. And then he was like, yeah, they changed it. And then like 2 hours later, Instagram was like, so we've closed your complaint because it seems like it's not a problem anymore.
Listen, I think Hannah Claire Coin is gonna do great.
That would be hilarious.
I'm bullish on Hannah Claire Coin.
All right, Mary, where can they find you?
You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived. I don't have any crypto schemes for you. That is the real one, I swear.
Too bad.
And you can send me hate on Twitter. That is also Mary Archived. I think you need to end the poll, Brett.
Okay, yes. Before we go, the question was, should Jonathan Majors be losing work due to allegations? And 86% say no. Innocent until proven guilty. They have spoken, ladies and gentlemen. We believe in due process here at Pop Culture Crisis. Yes? Yes? All right. Guys, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Brett Dasovic on both. This show is here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. If you would like to listen rather than watch, we are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. And if you'd like to follow Pop Culture Crisis on social media, we are on Twitter at PopCulture_show, Facebook and TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. We will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then, guys.
Bye.
Bye.